and welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On the Rise Media Studios with me, your host, Giles Thomas, and we're joined by Dennis James. Yay! Dennis, how are you, mate?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. How about you?
Oh, just broke up a bit there, mate. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Cool. Yeah. So, sorry. Say that again, please, mate.
I said, I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Really good, mate. Really good. Actually quite enjoying lockdown. What about yourself?
Yeah, this is what I do when I'm home anyway. So for me, this is nothing new.
Yeah.
When I'm home, that's what I do at home. I just go out to the gym and go out to the store, and that's basically it. So if it's up to me, they can keep this shut down for another 6 months.
Yeah. What about the gym? How are you getting to train?
Well, gyms are open.
Oh, gyms are open. What, in Arizona?
Arizona gyms are open, yes.
What, since when?
Tuesday last week.
Oh, okay. So you're back training, everything? Yeah, everything's okay?
Yeah. Well, I trained twice since they opened, yeah.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not the guy that needs to, that's going crazy because he can't go to the gym. This time's long gone, so I'm chilled.
Yeah. So how did your Olympia IG takeover go the other day? That was about 2 days ago, wasn't it?
It was awesome. I had fun. But this is what I do anyways. I do this all day on my own account.
Yeah.
So I do them live videos. I talk to the guys, and I started asking these guys questions. And now, because everybody says he's a big fan,
mm-hmm.
and if you're a bodybuilding fan, so that means I can ask you questions. You know what I mean? And then it's fun.
Yeah.
Put people on the spot and see how much they really know about bodybuilding.
That's good. See, I had Milos Sarcev on a few weeks ago, and I said that Milos was very much like Dennis. I said he's a real fan of the sport. I said I really like getting those kind of guests on because you can really. It's great to talk about yourself and your career and the amazing career you've had since 99, wasn't it? When you first did the first Olympia, wasn't it?
No, 2000 was the first Olympia. 99 was my pro debut at the Night of Champions.
Yes, it was. Yeah, damn it. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it was 2000.
That's okay.
Yeah, but it's just nice to get people who are a real fan of the sport and who still really study it and are still very much a part of it. So, okay, let's talk about some of the biggest news that's kind of hit the headlines in bodybuilding in the last couple of weeks. First of all, the Olympia. Tell us about what your thoughts were when you heard that it was being moved and the new venue. Tell us your thoughts.
Well, I think that pushing it back to December is it's much better than September, of course, because of the athletes some of the athletes get a chance to qualify
mm-hmm.
and definitely get a time to prepare. And it would be better for spectators because I think September would be way too early because we don't know how long the travel restrictions will go on.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know in what situation most of these guys are, because of the pandemic, maybe they lost their job, maybe people like even me, myself, I didn't lose a job or I didn't, but business is down. My shows is not happening this year. But even me, I told myself, I said, listen, I'm going to have to start thinking, cutting things out that I don't need. I mean, I started thinking about things that I never thought about in the last 15 years. I never thought how much I just realized I paid $224 for DirecTV for my TV every month.
Okay.
So I was like, why am I paying $224 a month?
$224? What the hell have you got on there? What have you got on there?
Because I have all channels available.
Yeah.
And you know what? I barely watch TV, and if I do, I watch 3-4 channels.
Yeah.
That I always watch. So, I said I cut it down to $60 a month now. So, and there's people out there, they have to make this changes on a lot of bases. So it's going to be hard. So hopefully by December, everything is somewhat recovered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From all this, I still believe it's going to be close, but I think it's a good thing for the athletes. I think it's a great thing to change the venue.
Yeah.
Because that brings new excitement to it. Because, since 2005, so for 14 years.
It was 2004.
It was, no.
2004, because AMI bought it in 2003.
Don't argue with me, bro. I know the facts.
Okay.
2005 was the first year at the Orleans.
Are you sure?
Because I was You want to put some money.
Oh! Colin likes that.
I watch your show sometimes, and there's 3-4 times where I would have jumped in and said because you had some wrong information.
Oh, really?
But
okay,
cool. Happens.
Cool. Text me text me because I like to be right.
2004 was the last year it was held at the Mandalay Bay.
Yeah.
I know because I was on stage.
Of course.
Okay, so.
Of course.
So anyway, so it's been 14 years.
Yeah.
That it was held at the Orleans. And I think changing it to a brand new venue is almost like changing it to a new country.
Yeah.
Because now even the athletes, because I just had a talk with Shawn Rhoden the other day. I said, Shawn, think about it. The athlete's going to go there, brand new venue, new hotel, new places. Everything is like new. It's more exciting because at the Orleans, you already know where you stay. You already know Wednesday, there's the meeting. It's the same room, the press conference. Everything was just like, it was a routine.
Yeah.
So now it's new, and I think that brings a little bit more excitement to it.
I always felt.
Hopefully, go ahead.
Sorry. I always felt people always dumped on the Orleans, but I think it wasn't a bad venue. And the thing is, it was affordable because I remember one year, I think 2016, when my partner at the time she was in the Olympia. And I remember, because obviously I wasn't working for MD or for anyone, and I had to pay the room rate. And I remember getting the room cost for like, was it 4 or 5 days then? I just couldn't believe how cheap it was. But
where?
Yeah, the Orleans.
At the Orleans.
The Orleans. It was so cheap. It was so cheap.
Yeah. And then with the Olympia code, it was even cheaper. It was like $40 on weekdays and $90 on weekends.
It's crazy. But then the Mandalay was never that expensive either. The Mandalay, I went 2001, 2002. That was a pretty special venue though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the rooms were expensive. They were in the hundreds, 200. Yes. I mean, we got the rooms for free, but even to upgrade it, I upgraded one year. I had to pay extra $150 a day.
Okay.
So yeah, the rooms were expensive. That's why I think the whole thing in the Mandalay Bay was expensive. It was nice, but I remember it was such a long walk from the room to the convention center. It was forever walk.
Yeah, it was all underneath, wasn't it? It was all underground, wasn't it?
Yeah. But you know what? The Planet Hollywood. What I also like about this situation, they probably have more rooms than the Orleans, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, is it that big? Is it that big?
It's huge.
Oh, okay.
It's huge. So they're gonna. I think they have like over 5,000 rooms. If I remember correctly.
Okay, it's actually on the strip, isn't it? It's on the strip.
It's right on the strip. It's right across the street from the Cosmopolitan. So it's literally like a corner building. So it's going to be good. All the restaurants are in there, so you don't have to really go anywhere.
That's good. What about the Zappos Theatre? Have you been there? Because I've been looking at I got Dan and Angelica to send me some pictures because I was doing a little bit of promo. And in last episode, and I'd look at some of the pictures and they've had like Lady Gaga play there and a lot of the big names. It looks pretty good. It looks like a really nice venue. Have you been to the Zappos Theatre yet?
I have not. No, I've not been to the venue. I stayed there. I stayed at the hotel. Once or twice, you know what I mean? So, but I haven't been to the venue yet. But hey, I believe I don't know how many seats does it hold? I
was just about to say that. I've heard it's 2,500, which doesn't sound like a lot to me.
No, that's not enough. But maybe for this year it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You never know.
Yeah, but sometimes they can extend the seating, can't they? But I'm interested to know how it'll work with all like the spacing. I'm hoping by December because America's kind of like you said, the gyms are open and things are kind of getting back to normal, relatively back to normal. Probably a lot quicker than they are in Europe, mate.
Well, it's going back to normal for social distancing. It's just going to be a hard time for crowds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Will they allow the crowds? That's the problem. You know what I mean? Let's hopefully by then they're okay with no more social distancing. That's the problem because you can't social distance. If you have to social distance, that means you'll have to block, 2 seats at a time. So every 3 seats can be a person. So you know what I mean? Every 2 rows. So it's gonna be really hard.
That'd be like an 800 person capacity in a 2,500 seats, wouldn't it? It'd be a disaster,
Yeah, I'm just glad it will happen. You know what I mean? Which is good for the athletes. You know what I mean? Because the athletes are sitting at home too, and they have no way to get paid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most contracts for most athletes at this time are either canceled or terminated or cut in half. I don't think there's a lot of people. There's a lot of contracts right now where they get paid in full.
Oh, really?
I highly doubt it.
I have heard. I have heard that some of them were cut in half. Which, thing is, it's kind of understandable, really, because I know, I'm friends with a lot of supplement company owners, and I've been involved in the industry, and if they're not making sales, it kind of is unprecedented times.
Okay.
If they can even pay half, I think that's pretty good.
Okay, well, if that's the case, that it should be okay that if something goes not so well, that the contract should automatically go in half. Then shouldn't the contracts go double if it goes better than planned?
Well, if that's written into the contract, yeah, maybe, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. But I don't think it's ever in the contract where it says that if we don't make enough money, we cut your contract in half.
Yeah, I know. But like I said, it's unprecedented times. It's just, no one saw this coming.
That's absolutely unprecedented time.
No one saw this coming. I think took everyone by surprise, didn't it?
But if the company does phenomenal well, shouldn't you just say, hey, listen, I know we negotiated this amount, let's give it double because I make so much more than I thought I would. That won't ever happen.
Yeah, I know. It's just, I think if the money's not there, the money's not there. It's just, I don't know what.
The problem is this hits just everyone. We all in the same boat. So yeah. At least if cut it in half is at least better than nothing. Because these guys don't have any way of making money on the side right now. They can't do any appearances. They can't do any guest posings. Nothing's happening. Us, as a promoter, shows can't happen. I had to cancel all my shows.
Oh, I was just about to ask about your Dennis James Classic in Germany.
Canceled.
So what were the dates of your shows in Germany?
Okay, we had 3 regional shows, 1 in April, 2 in May, canceled.
Oh wow, 2 in May.
My national qualifier here, June 6th in Arizona, canceled.
Hang on. How many shows have you got?
I'm involved in a few. So we do regional shows in Germany now too, and my pro qualifier at the end of the year. So we have. Okay. We plan two more regional shows at the end of the year. Hopefully, we can go through with the regional shows.
Oh wow.
But as so far, all shows are canceled.
Shit. So, because you're really stepping your game up with the shows and everything. Because I remember you said when you came on Global Muscle the time before, you were saying that was it 2,500 tickets you sold at one of your shows? The one in Germany.
I sold 3,200 total last time.
That's beating pro shows. That's beating pro shows.
It is, and if you can ask Robin Chang, who's been to both of my shows, he said that's Olympia atmosphere. I mean, the crowd and everything was nuts. But here's the thing: the venue it's a very well-known venue in Germany, huge and expensive as hell.
Yeah,
I can tell you straight up, I'll pay 50,000 euros for that day just for the venue.
Sorry, how much?
So 50,000.
50, total, not 15.
With everything included.
50,000 euros.
50.
Wow.
50 when I walk out the door at the end of the night. So, but now that's not the whole show. Think about it. I got other costs, sanction fee, prize money, tickets, judges. The whole preparation costs a lot of money.
Wow.
So for me, not being able to have spectators, which this is my thing, the spectators, the ticket sales. If I can only live off the athletes, I'm going to lose at least 50,000 that day, and I can't afford that.
That's incredible. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, because Dennis Wolf has shows in Germany as well, do you work together or do you work in separate parts of Germany?
We all work together. Dennis Wolf is representing us with one show. Actually, he wanted to do 2 this year, but the first one in May 2nd also had to be canceled.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's 2 more planned. We have one more in. I will have one more in October 10th. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I don't want to cancel this show now because if I can go on with the regional show, at least let the competitors compete because the cost for that show is very, very small. Yeah. So we won't lose any money if we don't sell tickets. You know what I mean? So and hopefully that our other promoter, Bernhard Schuber, is able to do his in October 16th or 17th. We hope we can do it, but it doesn't look too good because just even here, the venue that we have here, my show was supposed to be June 6th. Yeah. I emailed the venue a couple of 4 or 5 weeks ago just to see, say, listen, with the situation, there's a possibility that, I can't have the show. So, what's this? And then they emailed me back, oh, I'm glad you contacted us. Our venue will be shut down until October.
Oh, no. But I've heard that Germany though is one of the best in terms of dealing with it, like in terms of testing. So hopefully, maybe Germany's one of the countries that might get it back on track quicker than anyone else. So you're probably in the best place.
They are stricter than anyone. I'm telling you. I'm in contact. In Germany, you have to wear masks everywhere you go.
Oh, what? It's
mandatory. Yeah, social distancing. You can't even get into the store. You have to stand in line. You have to wait till they call you in. It's strict. It's very strict. Very, very strict. So, and there's no crowds allowed. So you can't even be 10 people at the moment.
So obviously,
they started the soccer this past weekend. Yeah, no crowds in the stadium, just the teams, and the teams had to be quarantined for 10 days before the game.
Oh my God!
So it's strict. It's strict.
If it works, it works.
And even the gyms are still closed in Germany.
Right. Okay. So what about Adolf Burkhardt, the guy who won your show? How's he doing? What's he up to? Because I saw some pictures. He was out a few months ago. He was looking very good.
Yeah, he was supposed to do the New York Pro in May, so all that postponed. Yeah. So, and that's the problem with athletes for the show, and that's also something that I considered when I postponed the show in Germany, because at this point, these guys sitting at home, they can't train. Yeah. If you can't train, you won't diet. What am I dieting for? If I can't train, you know how bodybuilders are. If they can't train for 2 days, they think like they're losing muscle. They're already soft and they're already losing it. So most of these guys, I think 70 to 75% of the athletes that were planning on competing this year are already set their mind on 21. Said, okay, 2020 is done. We'll get ready for 21. Yeah. So that's why it's going to be, I believe it's going to be hard for people that do follow through with their shows to get competitors. I think it's going to be hard because most of the guys and girls already said, okay, 2020 is done. I'm just going to get, because still to this day, you don't really know if a show is going to happen or not.
That's true. So what about competitors you think might not be able to get to the Olympia? Because I know there's a bit of a question mark over Hadi and also Ramy for different reasons, obviously. Do you think they'll have a problem getting to the Olympia this year?
Why would Ramy have a problem?
Well, is he still stuck in Dubai?
No, but he has a visa for the U.S., so for him it wouldn't be a problem if they open. Yeah. If it's open, we won't have a problem because he has a visa. I think Hadi, I don't know if they gave him a visa for last year only, if he has to get a new one, or I'm not sure. So, but the thing is this, travel restriction. If they still restrict traveling, then there won't be a whole lot of people from out of the country.
Yeah, I mean, that's William Bonac, Hadi, Ramy. It'd be an all-American Olympia, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it will be. It won't be the same. Yeah, but I still believe that we might have lucky and we might get to see the 4 Olympians on stage.
I hope so, because I mean, like last year, the biggest, probably the shock was seeing Hadi even at the Olympia last year with all the, but then they just kind of pulled a miracle, didn't they? Right at the last minute, getting his visa sorted.
Well, not only the visa was the biggest shock. I think the biggest shock was that he went into the Open instead of the 212.
Yeah. What is it? 216 he weighed or 218 or whatever? It was about.
I don't know, but I don't know. I really don't know how much he weighed, but it doesn't really matter. He just showed to the world that anything is possible. Doesn't matter how much you weigh. So, and if he was 216 or 218 for his height, that's a lot of weight. If you lean the way he was.
I mean, we saw him at the San Marino 2017, and he beat Brandon there. He beat Tim Buddersheim and some other. I mean, to be honest, I think he could have beat Cedric there. I think he could have beat Cedric there that day.
He should have beat Cedric. Yeah. I was there. I was emceeing the show.
Yeah, I know.
He won that. He won that show.
Yeah.
Cedric was smooth. Cedric was Cedric. He was still smooth. He shouldn't have. No, he should have. He hardly should have won.
I don't think Cedric.
And I remember there was.
I don't think Cedric was smooth. I think it's just because Hadi was so detailed and shredded. I think he made him look smooth. Like when you had Dorian and Flex Wheeler next to each other, Dorian made Flex Wheeler look smooth.
So didn't you just confirm what I said?
What?
You said Hadi made him look smooth.
Yeah, he made him look smooth. I don't know. Yeah. I like this guy. He challenges me. I like it. Yeah. So
no, I mean Cedric was good. He was Cedric, but this guy was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was unbelievable.
So what do you think? What do you think? Say of 2019 Vancouver Pro winning Hadi could do at this year's Olympia. How do you think he could do?
How do I think Hadi could do at the Olympia this year?
If he looked like he did at Vancouver last year.
Shit, dude, ask me if he looks like he did at the Olympia.
So I'm saying if he looked like that, if he looked like he looked at Vancouver last year and he brought that to the Olympia, what do you think he could do this year?
Depending on how everybody else looks, if everybody else is not 100%, he can be just as lethal, and he will be lethal. He will be impressive. There's no doubt in my mind, and I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in even bigger.
And bigger? Do you think he'll be bigger?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
220 plus.
Think about how much motivation you get off of coming to the Olympia for the first time, killing it, being a people's champ, and getting third place at the Olympia.
Yeah.
This dude has won Olympia, and he's already placed better than I've ever placed at the Olympia.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm really? Do you know what I'm really looking forward to, Dennis? I can visualize it now. I'm looking forward to seeing William Bonac, Hadi Choopan, and Flex Lewis in a call out together, like the 3x 212 guys, 220 plus. Yeah. That's the call out I'm looking for.
It's going to be crazy, yeah. And I'm looking for one call, and I'm looking for another call out.
Come on then.
I'm looking for a call out with Shawn, Rhoden, Phil Heath, Brandon Curry, Dexter Jackson, and maybe Kai Greene.
Oh no! Now you're fantasizing. Now you're fantasizing.
Absolutely, that's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm fantasizing. I said, listen. Yeah. What could make an Olympia that might not be as successful as past Olympias due to the restrictions? Mm-hmm. What could make that Olympia special?
Well, that's certainly make it very special. That would make it special.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. See, that's the lineup. The lineup could make it worth. I know I'm going.
Yeah, I'm definitely going.
I don't care if they said you can't. If they said you can't have anybody there, I would still drive to Vegas.
Nice. What's your feelings on Shawn Rhoden? Do you think he will come back this year at the Olympia? Because I've messaged him and he's not responded on this particular question.
Well, I talked to him a couple of days ago. Which maybe 2-3 days ago. I had him on live. And of course he's training for the Olympia.
He's training for it.
Of course. What else could he train for? There's nothing else he has to do but the Olympia.
Yeah.
He's in contact with Shawn Rhoden, with Dan Solomon, so they're communicating.
Good.
You know what I mean? Let's hope that everything's solved with the case by then, and he will be on stage.
Because the whole Shawn Rhoden thing seems to have gone a bit quiet, and I feel like people have started to forget him, and I don't understand why, because he was a 2018 Mr. Olympia. Last year, obviously, he couldn't compete, and I kind of feel like he's been kind of pushed to the side a little bit with all the Flex Lewis coming, doing the Open, and I was like, guys, the Shawn Rhoden, I mean, this, if he sorts these issues out, then that guy is always a threat for the Olympia. It's silly to say, obviously he's a threat.
They will remember real fast when he walks on stage.
Yes, yeah.
So, we forgot about. No, they know. It's just quiet around him because, like I said, we all know that there's still this accusation and there's a court case, trial coming up. Hopefully, I don't know anything about the trial. I don't know anything about the situation. I don't talk to him about this because I think that's the last thing he needs to talk about.
Yeah.
But hopefully it will be resolved before. Mm-hmm. Now, knowing this is December, this gives him another extra 2 or 3 months. But there's still a chance it might be thrown out before it goes to trial. We never know. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? It could happen.
Yeah, but let's just say it's not resolved legally. It was AMI. It was AMI that stopped him doing the Olympia last year. AMI is no longer part of the equation. How does that affect the situation?
I think then it's up to the powers to be if he can walk on stage or not. It's not up to Shawn Rhoden because if it was up to him, he would have been on stage last year.
Yeah.
So that would put it. I mean, I'm sure Jake Wood is fine with him getting on stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's up to him completely. So. Or Dan Solomon. I don't think it's up to them completely. They'll have to They all have to get together and talk about it. They have to arrange something. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I think it was unfair that they didn't let him compete last year. I'll be honest. I think it was. I remember speaking to Dan, and he said about like AMI, they would have Me Too movement and all this kind of. They'd have not riots, but protests. I was like, come on, you could let the guy compete because this could all be.
But Giles, yeah, I totally understand. And as an athlete myself, I know I've been through a situation similar to this once.
Okay.
I remember 2003 at the Olympia, I placed fourth. I'm sorry. Shit, almost gave me a third place.
A bronze medal there, mate.
Yeah. So and then the following year, I was accused of something I didn't do.
Right.
And the press release, and in every contract, when you sign a contract, the contract will always state, always a clause in it that states that if your name is anywhere in the negative light, they have the right to refuse or terminate or do whatever. So I remember they made a press release. I was accused of being a drug dealer. I had never sold a drug in my life. Mm-hmm. And my contract, back then my Muscle Tech contract was immediately just off the press release that I was accused, terminated. Yeah, the very next day, about a couple of days later, it was still by mail. It was not email. I got a mail termination of my contract that I had just signed 2 months prior.
How was it resolved? How was it resolved?
It was resolved later. It was resolved. It was basically it never even went to a trial or nothing. So I was basically out of this. I paid $100 to the Children Crime Fund, and that was it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But and then that's another thing. Good thing on Muscle Tech back then. Yeah. Then they contacted me. They wanted to re-sign me again for 50% of the contract. I said no thanks.
Really? Oh, I didn't know this.
Yes. When it was all done, they were trying to. They offered me the contract for half. I was like, you know what? I'd rather be with nothing.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just.
That wasn't a pandemic back then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I see your point. So yeah, because when the Olympia got sold, I think one of the first things that popped into my head was like, great, Shawn Rhoden could compete again. Because I knew Jake Wood would like you said, you know that Jake Wood's going to want him in the show. And I know Dan, because I remember speaking to Dan, and Dan said, look, my hands are tied. This is a decision that has gone above my pay grade. He said, I would love to see Shawn in the show. He says, but it's AMI with the... being big corporate companies. He said there's absolutely no way they're going to want that kind of negative press from there, because if he wins again and that's hanging over, it's going to put the Mr. Olympia name in a bad light. So they've just distanced themselves from him straight away. I felt really bad for him. I felt like he really was left out in the cold on this one, because at the end of the day, we don't know what.
Let's see. I think this time it will be up to the Pro League to decide. And it's not solely up to the Pro League. I think that... Because, the Pro League is all for the athletes when it comes down to it. At the end of the day, they want Shawn on that stage just as bad as the fans want. Yeah. But they still have to listen to their legal advices. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's certain things where you just have to listen to, what's best for you. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully this will be resolved. Hopefully, and if not, hopefully there will be a green light for him to get on that stage. I know he's training, like he is competing, which he should. Yeah, you know what I mean. So let's just hope for the best.
Good. So your name popped into my head when I saw those pictures of Kai Greene. They were supposed to be recent, and then someone said no, they're fake because he's had his teeth done.
The video.
Yeah. The video. What was your thoughts on that?
I was like, wait a minute. I know he's in good shape all year round, but I don't think he's in that good shape with that glutes in and everything. I think, I thought that it was an older video. You know what I mean?
Why does he do that?
I'm not saying that.
Why does he do that?
Why? Yeah. Why not? I mean, that's what we all do. We post old stuff.
Yeah, but you don't hint that you're going to compete again if you're posting old pictures and saying, oh, this is a recent shot. Did he say it was recent, though? I can't remember.
No, he just said something like, doing some mandatory poses after my workout.
It didn't actually put a date on it, so people speculated.
Something similar to this, just saying that, after my workout, it's time to do some poses. He didn't say it was now, today, yesterday, or last month, or 2 years, or 4 years ago.
So people run away with it and got excited then?
I'm sure he thought that, people going to think it was reason, He didn't think that his gap would give it away.
Yeah.
So maybe in the future, that his team will make sure there's no hints or any things where people, because fans are fucking, I'm telling you, fans are fucking scandalous. They find you.
Yeah.
They will find something. Man. They'll see things on pictures in the background that you don't even see.
Or they recognize the lighting or something and say, "Oh, that's from this year." That's you know, they can. I pick up on things like that.
Because it's the internet, the World Wide Web. World Wide Web sits stored forever. You know what I mean? Even the things you never posted, they'll figure it out. You know what I mean?
So how do you think Flex Lewis will do coming into the Open this year?
Well, if you would have asked me 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I would have said, it's going to be so hard for Flex to even hang in there with these guys. But looking at Flex the way he is and improving, I think, you know, he's going to be talking he's going to be up there. He's going to be up there battling, man. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the first call-out.
I think he'll be first. I'd be very surprised if he wasn't first call-out.
Well, that happens every year. Every year, some people are going to be surprised that one person's not the first call-out. You still have to bring the condition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You still have to be on. You know, everybody can be off. Everybody can be off someday. So
but come on, Flex Lewis is never going to come in. He's never been off in his life, and he's never been like out of condition. I've never personally seen Flex out of condition. The only thing maybe I think he could get beaten on is maybe, I don't know, because he's very complete. He's very, you know, you compare him to like Bonac and Hadi. He's beat Hadi. He's beat Bonac. It's like, but obviously Bonac's a different creature.
Yeah, but when he beat Hadi, it was his bonus. He had the Olympia bonus when he beat Hadi. It was close.
Yeah.
It was very, and every picture I saw.
Yeah.
So, and Flex knows that. He knows. He knows. Yeah. In order to stand next to Hadi, Flex needs to be at his all-time best.
So, all-time best William Bonac, all-time best Hadi, all-time best Flex Lewis. Who wins? Flex at 225. Flex at 225. Shredded.
You know, it's so hard to say because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, man, by saying things. But
come on,
everybody, all three of them at their best will be very beautiful to see.
Oh, come on! Yeah, I can see it in your eyes. I can see the name. I can see it. I can just try to visualize it.
Tell me what you're seeing, and I'll tell you if it's true.
Hadi.
I didn't think that at the moment. No,
okay.
I think that Flex will have a better chance.
You do. He's a prettier physique, isn't
he? He's taller, and you know, taller is always a little better.
Yeah.
Because I think Flex is taller than both of them.
Is he?
I believe Flex is taller than William and Hadi.
Okay. Well, even how William's looking now at the Arnold Classic, he's really. I think looking at. I mean, I was studying. I did an article on William for MD last month, and I'm telling you, he's like, because I thought the 2017 Olympia was his best ever look, but I've been looking at the pictures, and I tell you what, at the Arnold, I think he's his all-time best. They still got to get that leg back up. What do you think?
I just basically confirmed that I believe that Flex can beat Hadi at his best. Yeah. I didn't put William in there yet. So
okay,
Flex and William both at their best.
Oof, that's tough, isn't it?
That's, you know what? I believe that up to the judges.
Okay. Well, thing is that we've seen Hadi. We know pretty much what Hadi's going to bring, the kind of body weight he's going to bring. We know what Bonac looks like at his best at Olympia. But the thing is, we've never seen. I wrote yesterday in another article. I asked Flex this a few weeks ago, and I said, Flex, have you ever bought how your physique looks best at 225, say, have you ever even brought that to the stage, even to guest pose? He says, no, because I normally look like that 4 weeks out, and I always shut it down at least 7-8 weeks before. He said, so how I look my best, it's never actually been seen on stage. So we can't even, he might completely blow minds.
Yeah, I believe he will be in his 30s.
Yeah.
He will be in his 30s. Anywhere 35.
You think he'd be 230 plus?
I think so. Yes.
Really?
Yes. He had to suffer down to bring it down to 212. He had to lose muscle.
Whoa, Flex Lewis at 230 plus. I can't even visualize that.
Oh yeah, look at just the size of William Bonac.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Oh my god. No. Yeah. Because I had 225 Flex events, 220, 230. Hadi's Hadi's the lightest out of those three. That'd be a really good cut. Oh my god. Yeah. I never thought he would get to that kind of size, but if he really, I suppose if he had no restrictions and he's full year to train as an open with no restrictions.
And when you compare, let's compare William and flex
Yeah.
for a second here. Let's put them both at the same body weight. Let's say they're almost the same height.
Yeah.
Who flows better? Who has less weaknesses? Well, let's not mention any names right now. Let's just let that sink in. Who flows better? Who gets drier?
Yeah.
And who has less weaknesses? You have to turn them around to the back. You have to split, turn them to the side.
I'll say this. I think Flex flows better, but I think William has less weaknesses. And they both get very, very dry. What do you think?
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just putting it out there for you guys to think about it.
Yeah.
You know, when the fans listen to the interview, think about, let that sink in for a minute and think about it.
Yeah.
Now, display. You got to display, because there's a lot of bodybuilders that are similar conditions, similar bodies. Now, who gets out on top? That's the one that's going to display his physique better. You know what I mean? There's so many at this level. You need to nail not only your condition, your physique. You need to nail your presentation in the mandatory poses. You got to be the first one in the shot. You got to be the last one come out. You know what I mean? You got to keep the eyes on you. There's judges that's sitting there, and if the judge's eyes are stuck on you, that's good for you. You know, there's little things. There's little things. I'm telling you, it's going to be something special. Yeah,
I think Flex and William definitely present their physique better than Hadi. Definitely. Hadi's definitely the weaker of the three in terms of presentation, but he's got such a shocking physique. Yeah, but it's I think that's the three I'm really looking forward to seeing compared. You know. Oh shit. So what about Ramy? I mean, were you so shocked when he got third at the Arnold, and how do you think he looked at the Arnold?
I was a little disappointed.
Okay.
Because I was the one very vocal before, because I was following him. He was sending me pictures leading up all the way to 2 days before the show.
You text me, didn't you? You text me when I was in Columbus and you said, "Oh my God, I've seen him. He looks incredible."
I have the pictures.
Okay.
So if he would have stepped on stage the way he looked a week out, I said hands down, nobody's close.
Really?
He really was that good. So I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure Chad and him, they figured out what the reason was for him to be just holding water by the time he walked on stage. But now it's the time. You need to stick with one person and figure out your formula.
Yeah.
Don't switch and jump. You know, stay there and work on it. Give it a couple of shows. Figure it out, and it will happen.
How's this?
Sooner or later.
Yeah. How's this for a hypothesis? I mean, Chad worked with Ronnie Coleman, and he put when he was filling. I remember Ronnie telling me saying, Chad had me eat so much food, so many carbs, 1,000 grams of carbs a day. He said it had to fill. So Chad is used to working with guys that big. Do you think maybe Ramy is a bit more carb sensitive and spills over a lot easier? Do you think that's what it was? Do you think that's what it was? Do you think that's what it was?
Do I think? I know that's what it is. I know. I work with Ramy. I know he's carb sensitive. You could send this man on stage with no carbs.
Okay.
He would have been better off just cruising the way he was 2 days before.
Yeah.
Just cut a little bit water. Don't worry about the carbs. Same amount of carbs.
Yeah.
Like you carb deplete. A carb depleted Ramy is a dangerous one.
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. Because if he overspills every single time, then why not just err on the side of caution and just, you know, if he's looking that good 2 days, a week out, like you've seen pictures of, just let him get on stage like that? Or do you think they're so obsessed with us bringing him and as having the biggest thing on stage? Do you think that's what it is?
No, it was. Listen, Chad knows what he's doing, but it was the first time working with this person. So
yeah.
You can't. Ramy is different from everyone else. He doesn't respond like everyone else. He had I worked with Chad. He loaded us up like fucking carb loading was carb loading.
Yeah, in fact, Ronnie told me.
Carb load.
He was like,
you know what I mean?
He said he was in agony.
But similar to me, and if Chad hears this, I said, Chad, Ramy's similar to me. We don't get flat. If we're flat, we're still full to everyone else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, it's kind of like getting up in the morning. When you get up in the morning, you kind of like the driest. You know what I mean? That's the look you want to bring on stage. So don't fill him up, because as soon as you start loading, and then I think I heard Chet mention somewhere that he saw him pumping up.
Yeah.
And when he pumped up, he started smoothing out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he mentioned something like that.
Okay.
So he said, no more pumping up. But when you pump up and you start getting, when your cuts disappear, that means you still hold water.
Right.
That means you hold water. If you pump up and you get harder, that means you're dry. That tells you you're dry.
I'll be honest, I've never heard of anyone getting smoother from pumping up. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah,
That's the first time I've heard that, Dennis.
Yeah. No, just go to the gym. If you're not 100% dry or shredded, and you get a pump, you get full, but you're not as shredded. When your legs will go smooth out.
Yeah. The legs will, Okay.
So, and not only the legs, every body part will do that in off season. But when you contest ready and you pump up, you will actually get drier.
Okay.
So, but if that's not the case, that means you still hold water, and you need to get rid of that.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. So why do you think Ramy always looks so much better on? Because remember at the Olympia when he got sixth? I thought on the second day I've never seen such an amazing transformation. I thought maybe he deserved fourth on the second day at the finals in 2018, and then at the Arnold at the night show, we were kind of sat there, kind of going, "Do you think Ramy could take this? Do you think?" Because he's really pulled ahead, but because he always seems to look so at the judging, and the night show he always seems to transform. How did they get the timing right?
I'm not sure, but I think after the prejudging, they realized, we need to get rid of some more water and maybe don't carb up anymore.
Yeah. So you think it's just they just let him
just keep going. So stay where you at, don't move.
That's interesting.
Because all the posing from the morning, this will even dry you out even more.
Yeah.
Because you'll sweat, you get rid of posing will help a lot.
So he's probably not eating much between the judging and the finals then, is he?
Possibly not much, maybe one small meal, probably not a lot.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, let's talk about Brandon Curry. Can he win a second Olympia?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
All he has to do is, and this is what he will do, as in Mr. Olympia, how much more motivation can you get than a title?
Yeah.
So he knows what he has to do. He knows, and you know what, I'm 100% convinced that Brandon is his own worst critic, that he will look back at the show, he will look at the videos, and he will see what we're saying.
Yeah.
There's no way that he's going to look, when we say, he wasn't really 100% on, which he wasn't. No. You know what I mean? No knock on him, but he still deserved to win because he is that good.
Yeah.
But he will be his worst critic saying, I didn't like this. My legs need to be a little bigger. He knows what he has to do. And I think that he will, I think he will get it handled. And I think that if the other guys, if like Phil and Shawn, and if these guys don't show up, I think he could just repeat. Yeah, he can.
Plus. I mean, I spoke to Ronnie on Friday night he was saying about how remember the 2001 Olympia when he did the Arnold and the Olympia the same year where you were in it, and he said that doing those two shows that I had to peak for definitely nearly lost me the Olympia in 2001 to Jay Cutler. And he said, obviously, the thing is now Brandon, because he'd won the Arnold Classic and the Olympia last year, he only has one show to do. So do you think that's obviously going to help him?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Plus the motivation he brings along for the whole year, it will help him tremendously. William had already peaked this year. He peaked at the Arnold. Let's say peaked. But in Williams' defense, Williams used to peaking several times a year. He can do it.
Yeah.
He's one of the guys. But I think an advantage is on Brandon's side because he is very well rested. He doesn't have probably any injuries, no aches and pains, and he can go into this prep knowing he's going to defend his title. So it's going to be a little bit easier for Brandon than for William, because William has to go through this whole process again and again, and he's been doing it for many years now.
What do you think Brandon needs to do for his physique to improve?
His physique doesn't have to improve. He needs to bring his legs up a little bit, and he needs to work on condition only. That's it. Condition. Yep. If he comes in condition, 100% condition, he's going to look even better.
Have we ever seen him in 100% condition, though?
Yes. I seen him one year at the Olympia. I don't remember. I think he got 7th that year.
8th.
It's a long time ago.
No,
it's a long time ago.
2011.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. That condition, I remember exactly. That Brandon condition, that condition will give him another Olympia title easy.
With the new size he has now.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting. 'Cause
Yes.
I thought he looked good. I mean, I really liked how he looked when he won the Arnold Classic. I thought. I mean, actually, when he did the UK tour with him, the Olympia tour with him, the European tour, and he said, he said that was my. He said I definitely looked better at the Arnold than I did at the Olympia. He completely agrees with that one. So, yeah.
See, the biggest thing is, as a Mr. Olympia, as a one-time Mr. Olympia, to repeat, you have to show improvements.
Yeah.
The judges don't want to come see you again looking the same or less. You have to be better than you were last time you stepped on stage.
So, who do you think his biggest threat is? Shawn Rhoden?
Well, as of right now, he's not in the show, so we can't. I don't want to add anybody as a threat. But his biggest threat would be Shawn Rhoden.
Yeah. Because
Shawn has the title too. He's a Mr. Olympia. He will get looked at. He will get a look. Shawn's conditioning when he's on is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to trade shots here and there. Brandon has shots where he beat Shawn, size-wise, especially from the rear. But don't forget Phil. I still believe Phil will be in.
You do? You said this last year.
Yeah.
Well, we all hoped it last year. We all hoped.
And you know what? And I'll say it again.
Yeah.
I still believe, because if I was Phil, if I were Phil, I'll be sitting here. I said, wait a minute, why am I wasting this money? I can go out there, make $400,000, get my 8th title, come back one more year, get number 9, and secure my legacy, and I'm out.
Do you think he would stop at 9?
Huh?
Do you think he would stop at 9?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because who's going to beat it?
Oh, I suppose it beats the record, Ronnie and Lee Haney's record of 8 Olympias, doesn't it? Because he always said he wanted 10, didn't he? Then he said, I want to win 10, then I'm going to bounce. That was his words.
No. He needs is 9 to be the most winning Olympian. But even if it just goes for 8, you know what I mean? It would help him in his future. It would help his future. You know, Jay Cutler did it. He came back and won at his best.
That would be exciting to see, like what Jay Cutler did in 2009, coming back and taking the title back from Dexter, who took it from him in 2008. That would be that. I mean, especially if like you had Shawn Rhoden, Flex Lewis, and Brandon, and Hadi, William, Dexter. Oh, Ramy! My God,
this would be a year for Phil to let the world know I'm the fucking number 1.
Come on, Phil.
Regardless of who shows up.
Yeah.
This would be and even. Put a cherry on top, throw Kai in the mix.
I just...
You know what I'm saying? Even though I don't believe Kai will ever compete again.
Yeah, I'm off the Kai train. I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's more chance of Phil Heath coming back than Kai personally. I'd love to see it happen. But I'll be honest. I'm more of a Kai. Sorry, go on.
Even though Kai put another hint out yesterday or so 2 days ago, he posted a picture. I posted a picture of him in a Santa Claus outfit, saying that Nick from whatever Strength and Power did a video saying Kai is trolling the internet. You know what I mean? And he said something like, hey, kind of like to back off, or you might not see Santa Claus coming in December.
No shit! Oh my God!
You didn't see that?
I've not seen it. No, I'll be honest. I'll put it out there. I'm more of a Phil fan than I'm a Kai fan. Sorry.
Yeah. It doesn't matter, but I'm still a fan of bodybuilding.
I haven't seen it.
I still, because I'm in the back of my mind, I still would love to see a little Olympia with everybody on stage that's relevant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Everybody.
Would. And that just another post when I was doing the Mr. Olympia takeover, and then somebody asked, you think Shawn Rhoden and Phil Heath getting an invite to the Olympia?
That's funny. Why?
Yeah. So at first I wanted to be stupid and say something stupid, but it wasn't my account.
Oh yeah.
So I had to So I had to say, they don't need an invite. They basically qualified for life.
Yeah, even Arnold could walk on stage at the Olympia and he wouldn't have to qualify,
Yes, exactly. Or Samir Banu.
Yeah. He still wants to get another one, didn't he? He always said, I want to get a second Olympia. So wow, okay. Well, I'm trying to think what else. Oh, Dexter as well. We've got as well. Who do you think's Who do you think's really going to move up this year? Because there's always someone that jumps up, and leapfrogs over a few people. I've got someone in mind. I want to know who you think will do that.
Is the person qualified, or are we talking about somebody that's not even qualified yet?
Not even qualified. Just someone that you think, if they get into the Olympia, they're the guy that will, mix it up a bit, and because we know all the top 6 guys typically in our head who we think they will be if they're all on, but someone that really could kind of jump up.
From not even qualified, it's hard to say, because how we know he's going to qualify, because is there going to be a show where he's going to make it to?
Let's be theoretical.
Theoretical.
Hypothetical, sorry.
Well, unfortunately, Luke is gone, because he would have been one that I think that in the future he would have been a contender.
Yeah. What about guys like Akim Williams or Nathan D'Asha? Because I've seen real improvements from both guys this last year, and Nathan said he would have been like 268 at the Arnold if he'd have done it. That's like 20.
I don't care. I don't care when people brag about weight. I tell them weight don't mean nothing. You see what happens. They're gonna get beat by guys weighing 50 pounds less.
Yeah.
So weight don't mean nothing. Somebody's. I've been through this for so many years. So when an athlete comes to me and says, "Oh, I would have been 268." How the hell can you tell me you would have weighed 268 at a show you didn't even go to?
Yeah.
So all your speculation don't mean nothing. Yeah, I'm gonna be around 268. Like you calculate, you can already calculate yourself and knowing what you can.
Yeah. And when you dry out, that
is not possible. So Nathan knows that. Every time somebody says something like this, is kind of like a wish factor. I wish I could be 268.
Get tongues wagging, innit?
Yeah, might as well make it 270. But Nathan is a factor, but he needs help from guys ahead of him, which means...
In what way?
Guys ahead of him need to be off.
Oh, I see. Right, okay. Yeah.
For Nathan to slide through.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Nathan will be fighting. First he needs to qualify, which he will.
He's qualified. He's qualified. He won it Korea, the end of last year.
Oh yeah. Okay, so he's qualified. So
he's in.
He will. He's definitely a top 10 contender. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But for him, in order to move up into the top 6,
there
need to be a few guys need to be on his side and coming in off.
Okay,
that's the way I see it for this year. For this year, and for Nathan to beat Dexter. Nathan needs to be so shredded.
He really wants to beat Dexter. He's been telling me that for 3 years. He wants to beat him.
Listen, here's my advice to Nathan. Nathan, if you see this is my advice. Don't fucking worry about 268. Come in 240 and be peeled.
Yeah.
If he comes in 268, he's not going to be in the condition to beat Dexter.
Okay.
I'm saying this, and I don't even know how much he weighs right now, so it doesn't matter. Because this is the mistake a lot of people make. I make the same mistake. You look at the fucking scale. The scale, nobody asks you how much you weigh when you step on stage.
What did you weigh 2003? That was your best, that 4th place. Because that was, for me, what were you then?
240, 242.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes. Wow, because you look kind of, because you were so hard, I suppose it made you look bigger. Things you were very dense. You were very dense. Because you're only...
When you peeled, when you separated, when you shredded, you create an illusion. You look much heavier.
Yeah.
In 2006, I was 260, 262. I wasn't even close to the condition I should be in. So that's why I thought I looked great in the mirror and impressive. But it does not transfer on stage.
Yeah,
You got to stay away. Nathan, don't run into the mistake to come in bigger. Bigger is not better. And I thought he learned that, but I guess maybe that's, I don't know, maybe it's Kemp. You got to be big.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what happened. That's what happened to Ramy. You know what I mean? You got to be big.
Well, it's a clue.
300 plus. Otherwise,
I think they should take that name, that big, out of his name. I think it's causing too much confusion and there's too much pressure, I think.
No, I mean you can't get it out no more. It's there. Big Ramy is Big Ramy. He's big. You can't take that away from him.
Even if he was like 20 pounds lighter, he'd still be the biggest thing up there.
Yeah. But the thing is, like I said, and he understands that now. Weight doesn't matter. You don't have to step on scale. Why are you stepping on scale for what? Look in the mirror.
Yeah. So what about Roly? Because there's a real big question mark over Roly, because I was so impressed with him, how he looked at the 2018 Olympia. And he's just kind of, I know he's had like injuries and whatever since, and knee problems and that, and he's kind of just been he's been more missed than hit since 2018. Do you think he can really come back and be a real factor? Because he was really knocking on that. I mean, he was a strong top 3. He was a strong 3rd in 2018. What do you think?
Roly is a very impressive bodybuilder. He did everything possible. And he achieved way more than a lot of other bodybuilders did.
Yeah.
But you have to understand one thing. We all get to a point where age is slowly catching up.
You think it's age?
You know what I mean? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, in order to make improvements, you know what I mean? You have to do the certain things right. And when you get older, it's going to get harder.
Right, okay.
The older you get, the harder it is to make improvements. So once you get to the point when you have to look back, when you have to say, okay, my goal is to come into the condition that I had in 2018. Once you have to do that, you're at a point where you're already looking for something that you achieved years prior. So there's no more improvements. You just want to get to that same condition. So for me, for Roly, I think he's a top 6 contender if he's spot on.
He'll be fresh. Don't forget, though, he'll be fresh because he hasn't competed at all this year.
I know, but he's also 2 years older. I'm sorry.
Right, okay.
So this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's too old, but they're all in their 40s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're all in their 40s. I've been there. I remember I was still competing at 44. Which I thought everything was perfect. But when you compare pictures, and I did that, I compared a picture of me in 2009 when I won Dallas or Tampa. I won them both. And I was 247 or 248.
Yeah.
And I compared it with the 242 in 2003, picture by picture next to each other.
Yeah.
It was you could see it was a total different body.
Right. Okay.
Everything looked fresh here, and everything just looked different. You could see it was. Even though I'm heavier, I looked like I was smaller. I didn't look as full. I didn't have the legs, didn't have the sweep.
Yeah.
You start losing the sweep in the quads. And I saw
sarcopenia, isn't it? Sarcopenia, isn't it? They call it, where you lose the mass in your legs and certain body parts.
And there's not much you can do. It's going to creep up on you sooner or later. You know what I mean? So, but Roly still, Roly needs to be shredded. And I tell this to all the guys in Kuwait. You guys need to bring the condition. Size. Everybody's so focused on size. Now Nathan is back over there. He's focusing on size. Oh, I'm gonna be 260. I would have been 268. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Nathan, listen. You at 245, 250 are fucking much better than 268. I promise you that.
I mean, he won the British finals in 2014 at 99 kilos. That was 216. And I mean, he just completely he beat Sassani. He dominated. And
Nathan peeled in the 240s is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, nice, great aesthetics. He's like kind of reminds me of like a bit of a young Dexter in some ways, the kind of the long waist and the wide shoulders and the.
Nathan is a fuller and rounder guy, which I like. I like, but he's full and round, sweeping, fucking quads, all that's there.
Yeah,
you just got to be peeled because all that not being 100%, it's not as impressive as if it's peeled. Simple as that.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He's got all the potential. He's got all the potential in the world. And if I would know that he was focused on that, I would have him in the top 6.
Yeah.
But I know he's not focused on it. I know what he's focusing on. I know where he's at. So I know what the focus is. Size.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I saw him at the British Grand Prix last year, and he was very. He was working with Matt Jensen then, and Matt brought him in really dry and detailed, and everything was flickering, and it was. He claimed he was like 260 or something, and I think I had Luke Sandoe on actually at the time, where we said we think he was telling porcupines, but I mean he's. Either way, he's a very, very. I'm really excited because we missed seeing him at the Olympia last year, but I'm really excited to see him back up this year.
Do you talk to him? Talk to him
most. Yeah.
What happened? Why is he no longer? Why is he back in Kuwait?
Well, he just felt like he'd learned everything he could with Matt Jansen, and he just wanted to go back to Kuwait. The interview went out in the last episode of Global. And I was surprised to see him go back to Kuwait. I was surprised.
I was more than surprised after what he told me after he left there. I was really more than surprised he went back.
Okay.
That's like, so I don't know. That's why I said, hey.
Okay.
Hey, everybody in this sport is different. I already felt that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have to take people too serious when they say something, because at the end of the day, you always find out what really goes on. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
I've heard it all. I've seen it all. And at the end of the day, you just have to sit back and watch and see what really happens.
That's true. That's very true. Okay, well, I mean, you're supposed to.
But I wish him all the best. And
of course.
I just want to Nathan, this is for you. Don't worry about size. You got plenty of size.
Okay.
You got plenty of size. This is the same thing I told Ramy all these years. Stop fucking worrying about size.
Yeah.
And I could open up a whole nother can of worms now, which I won't do. But like I said, listen, you have to think. Listen, and I tell this to all athletes. Think about your career, your future. At the end of the day, you're responsible for yourself. You're the one who walk on stage. Ain't nobody walking with you and holding your hands.
Yeah.
And when you don't win, it's you people talk about. They don't talk about where you come from, where you train, or who tells you to do this. At the end of the day, you have to make the decisions for yourself. Focus on what the judges want to see. And all they can do is just tell you. And you can see, how can Shawn Rhoden win the Olympia? He's definitely not a mass monster.
True.
He don't think he has one body part on him that looks like it's a freak.
Yeah. He just flows very well, doesn't he?
And he beat all the freaks. It wasn't even close. They didn't even get compared to him.
I know. Yeah.
They didn't even get compared to him. So this should be enough. In my era, it was a little different. It was Ronnie Coleman.
Ronnie.
So if you chase the champion, you know what I'm saying? Hey. So now it's so much easier, guys. You guys don't have to think about size anymore. Go back to the old school condition. Fucking suffer while you diet, train, do a fucking 2 hours of cardio if you have to. Don't let anybody tell you should not do cardio. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you can be hard, but when you stand on stage and somebody's way more separated than you, it's gonna expose you, and it happens all the time.
Yeah. That's true, very true. Okay, I'd like to give acknowledgement because you were supposed to come on a couple weeks ago, and then literally as I was driving back to the studio, we got the sad news about Luke Sandoe's passing, and I had to pass the news on to you because obviously we were supposed to be filming within the hour. What was that? I mean, obviously this is a loss that's really been felt. I've never actually experienced anything quite like it. Feeling the kind of how it's hit people. What's it like over there in America?
Well, I really don't know because all I see is what happens online.
Oh, yeah,
internet.
of course.
But it's a very unfortunate situation. I never really got to meet Luke. Yeah. To be perfectly honest, I met him once at my first show in Germany. He came with Iron Rebel. And Nathan the Asher both. Him and Nathan the Asher both as a sponsor, both sponsored by Iron Rebel.
That's right, yeah.
And they came to the show, he gave out 2 awards or something, but we didn't get a chance to really chat it up. So I didn't really know him. I knew him from what people spoke about, and I could tell by his interviews and every time he was on, he was a very, very humble person. He was a good guy. You could actually see and that's thanks to the internet nowadays, you can interact with your fans. You can see somebody's personality, and therefore it's, you can see by the response of his death that he was really, really well liked. You know what I mean? Yeah. There was no negative comments. No. I didn't see one single negative comment. You know what I mean? Everybody was respectful, and this is this kind of lifted me up to see that the whole fitness industry community came together for one single person, and everybody showed respect, even though he wasn't out there like he wasn't Mr. Olympia. He wasn't, he was just one of us. You know what I mean? And you can see how everybody came together. And it's still sad for me to see that somebody has to take his own life, especially when you have, a son and a daughter behind you. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be really, really, really hard for a person to get to that point. So I have no idea personally what the reason was. So I don't even know how it happened. Yeah. You know what I mean? all I know is that it's sad. It's really sad.
Do you think mental health is something that's maybe not spoken about enough in bodybuilding? Because I mean, everyone goes through challenging times, dark times, and sometimes we just don't know what someone's really going through. What's your take? What's your take on that?
It is, and I never knew it was a problem because I never felt like I'm far away from anywhere close to that. I don't think I could ever be in a situation where I, think about taking my own life. So that's why for me it's very hard to understand. Yeah. But now I realize, seeing this so close to home, I understand. It's like, this is probably bigger than I thought. Mm-hmm. And since Luke's death, I get a lot of, even on my live feeds, I get a lot of people that I bring on, and they tell me that, so down. There's a lot of people like that. It's unbelievable.
Do you think
I talked to at least 3-4 people the last couple of days and kind of lifted them up and telling them, listen, you got to fight through this.
That's good.
That's good. And I never in a million years thought it was that widespread. It's out there. It's out there. And with this pandemic, it's not even. I was just about to say, do you think the pandemic has really compounded the? Because it's like someone like Luke. He was very used to being in a routine. It was very frustrating that he couldn't go to the gym and train. Probably had to train in a home gym, and it was kind of a very all or nothing guy. And I think it was just a lot of things kind of just piled on top of him. But to try, and I know I hope it's not rude to talk about this situation. But I'm trying to explain to me what reason did he have? Because people say that he had mental problems. He had thoughts before. So where were those people that knew he is suicidal or he is?
Honestly, Dennis, I don't think it works like that, mate. I don't think it works like that. A lot of people, if they don't open up and they don't. I mean, I've spoken to his girlfriend, and she's been saying, I could have done that. I said, no, there's nothing you could have done. This is no one's fault. It's like, how do you tell an anorexic that they're not, skinny,
Yeah.
It's
I'm
tough.
I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, but if I'm your friend, me and you friends for a year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, I know you are not as strong, and this shit hits you or hits us.
Yeah.
I'm on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would probably, but then again,
but what if I'm acting fine? What if I'm acting fine and you don't even know, and I don't want to open up about it? It's one of those. It's a tough thing, mate. There's a lot of people like saying, they're really battling with this because this is not someone that was a miserable, withdrawn, introverted guy. This was an extroverted guy who was doing podcasts every day. This is a guy that wore a smile on his face all the time, doing funny videos. It's just one of those things, mate. It's a tragedy.
You know who I feel for at this point, who I feel for a lot is his training partner, because I saw his interview and how much he feel, because
Ben,
he'll probably talk to him. He probably talked to him like an hour before and he was fine.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
The day before, the night before, they maybe had a workout the day before, and then to hear it's got to be really hard on him too. So yes, I just want to say this. I'm not a doctor. I said, if you have any issues, mental issues, don't be afraid to go out there and talk about it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Find someone you can talk to, because at the end of the day, you can't help yourself.
Yeah. I did, Dennis. Dennis, I did. I got an NLP coach, and he became more like a therapist. I was going to see him every 2 weeks. I started following like Dr. Jordan Peterson on YouTube, and I changed a few habits, and I managed to pull myself out of a bit of a dark place, mate. So this is something that really affects a lot of people. Maybe we just don't know, that they go through this,
Yeah. And I guess that's it. You don't know, because when you talk to a person, he's going to act normal.
Yeah.
I mean, and then he gets home in his own four walls, and then he just crashes. Yeah, I guess.
But you know what? I really appreciate the fact that the people that have opened up to you, that you said those 3 or 4 people on your social media. That's a good thing. It connects people. You've actually made the effort to try and help them and say, come on, try and lift them up a little bit. And maybe that could be the thing that pulls them back on track. So, because the thing is, my point is, bodybuilders like yourself, key figures in the industry, it's like you can make a huge difference to people's lives. I spoke to Ronnie Coleman about this many times, and a lot of people like yourself, the big names, you do have like an ability to affect people in a very, very positive way. So I just I think that's great that you did that, and I think it's fantastic. So
one in particular sticks out from 2 days ago. He told me, I had him on live, and he said to me, I want you, what can I do? Because of he can't go to the gym. He was feeling depressed and crazy because he can't go to the gym. I said, listen,
it's a big thing for people.
I know, but listen, I said, we're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
I said, listen, you still healthy. You have 2 legs, 2 arms. When the gym's open, you can go back.
Yeah.
I said, what if you have an accident? You get sick and you can't train no more. The gyms are open, but you can't get to it. Yeah. I said, how would that have to feel? I said, you're in a good place. And we all in the same place. I said, we got to hang in there. We got to stick together. I said, and he told me, I never thought of it this way.
Yeah.
I said, but think about it. There's people that lose a leg. Look at Flex. He lost a leg. He still goes to the gym.
I was just about to say, because I interviewed Ronnie Coleman and Flex Wheeler, and apparently Ronnie told Flex, he says, no, you're stronger than me. And he says, what? Well, Flex says, but Ronnie, you're the strongest person I know. And Ronnie said, didn't he? Ronnie said, well, I didn't lose nothing. That's what he said to Flex. And Flex said it really lifted him to hear like Ronnie saying that to him,
Yeah, and you know what? I get him, and I totally I see it the same way. I mean, what Flex is going through, and this is not the first time he hit a transplant. He's been in the hospital more than I've seen a hospital. So for him to lose a leg and be, and this is another thing. We see him when he talks to us.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's how he is and who he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I know for a fact, and I tell you 2 minutes ago, I said, I'm strong. I know I don't think I could ever play with the thought of killing myself, which I still don't believe I could. But if I would have a lose a leg, I don't think I would be as good spirited as Flex is right now. I wouldn't take it as easy either. I think I would have a serious problem too.
Yeah, he's handling it very well. Because I interviewed him a few weeks ago, and I'd like to say actually he did acknowledge you as someone that was it you helped him, you came to visit him, you set up the GoFundMe? Was it yourself? Go back up. I'll send you the link after we filmed, and I'll send you because I'd like you to watch that because he really acknowledged you as being someone that really stepped up. So yeah, big up to you for doing that, mate.
I remember exactly when it all started. March 2019. I'm at the airport in LA. Me and Flex were supposed to be on the same flight. We were supposed to go to Australia. I fly from Phoenix, and I was supposed to meet him. We said, we meet at the lounge. I'm sitting in the lounge. I said, where's Flex? He's not coming. I said, we're about to board in like 45 minutes. So I text him. He texted me back, oh, man, I can't make it, man. My doctor told me not to fly. I thought he was bullshitting. He just didn't want to go.
Yeah.
I thought he didn't want to go. He was still at home. I said, what do you mean? I have a blood clot. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't think nothing serious.
Yeah.
Doctor said, okay, I'm flying to Australia. The next day, or 2 days later, I text him, I will never get a reply. He was already in the hospital. Shit. He was in the hospital for 3 to 4 months. I was in Australia for 2 or 3 weeks. And when I came back from Australia, I flew down to Vegas and visited him in the hospital.
Yeah.
His leg was still there.
Yeah.
They was just treating him and trying to save it, and this went on for a whole year.
It's crazy, isn't it?
And then after that, we saw the end result was he did have to take it, give up the leg.
Yeah. Well, he's had he's got his new prosthetic. I think it was a couple of days ago, was it, or just?
Yeah.
So I interviewed him and I spoke a couple of times, messaging back and forth, and he said he wants to take on the role as being an ambassador for amputees and people like that, and to try and inspire others. So he's kind of taken on that role to try and heal himself by helping others. So it's like by being a kind of key figure on that in that. But
at the same time, you still have to try to make money. You still have to feed your family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not as easy as you can't just hop on a plane and travel over there and do training sessions. Now everything's different. You got to be, so it's going to be hard. And I hope, and that's why it's glad to see how the industry comes together when somebody's in need. You know what I mean? When I started his GoFundMe page, I started his page for a reason. I didn't start the page because I felt like, this is the right thing to do. No. Because if you have money, I don't have to do nothing like that. That's the last thing I would do.
Yeah.
But I knew his financial situation, and at this point, Also, I also knew that after a couple of months of being in the hospital, that his health insurance dropped it.
Oh, yeah, he said, he said.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I know things that most of these guys in the world don't know. Yeah, they see him, he's sitting in his Jaguar. They see him doing this and doing that. So people instantly assume, he's rich. He's rich. He's got money. So why should we give him money? Then they Google his net worth and it says 2.2 million, which is the biggest bullshit ever. They Googled my net worth. I Googled it as $69 million. I was like, where the fuck is it?
Where is it? Check. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So listen, guys. I would never start a GoFundMe page for someone who has the money to take care of himself.
Yeah.
Never. You know what I mean? Because I got a lot of shit, even from.
Hang on a minute. You got shit for doing that?
I got it.
Why?
I got a lot of shit from people that said, "How can you give him money?"
Because they feel he's got money and he really didn't. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
And listen.
That's the other side of the internet. Other side.
Even from fellow competitors.
No.
I'm not going to name no name, but I got messages from people saying, "Oh, you know what I'm saying?" So listen. And
that's disgusting.
Listen,
That's disgusting. Yeah.
Listen, guys. Listen. Here's the thing. If somebody doesn't GoFundMe or whatever, I ask you to help if you can. It doesn't mean I said, listen, you got to help. You don't have to.
Yeah.
If you don't want to help, you don't help.
It's optional.
What you got to talk about it. Yeah, don't talk about it. Just don't say nothing. You know what I mean? So it was kind of hard. But seeing what happened with Luke, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I think everything is on the right track, and as long as the world stays the way it is, I will help to support as much as I can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And thank God. I mean, in Luke's case, there was more help than they requested.
Yes. Yeah. Was it 100? I mean? How much are we up to now on the? 100. Yes. What? It was 120, something about 120. So that's like nearly $200,000 they've raised.
But in the beginning it says 30 or 50 was the goal.
Right. Okay.
So the goal was
people
just upped the goal several times.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, okay, everything is going great. So you know what I mean? Because what can you say? There's no limit at the end of the day.
Yeah.
There's no limit. But
it just shows that even though, I mean, the pandemic, it's affecting everyone in the world and bad things can happen. It still shows that people are willing to be kind and step forward. Like I've had people messaging me just say about Luke, saying like, I've never even met the guy. I don't even know the guy, but I'm in tears because it's like they feel that directly affected by someone that, touched their lives or inspired them or motivated them. It's just I think it's been something positive to come out of an absolutely tragic, awful situation that I think, like you said with Flex Wheeler, it's like people stepped up and helped there as well. I think it's good, and I think it's one of the things I do like about the industry, and it's one thing I like about people as well. The fact that they will be, It's,
I never really got to know him either, but that didn't hold me back from at least reposting the thing that Fuad posted, which I thought was very good and very awesome from Fuad.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that's the same thing I just expected from a lot of others when I did it for Flex, just to repost.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed for the lack of reposts.
Really?
To help our brother in Iron. Yes, I really got to admit I was a little disappointed. I expected a lot more people just at least repost it. You know what I mean? Because you know who it is. He got. In the situation he's in. So. I'm not asking everybody for money. Just repost it, share it.
Yeah,
share it.
Help raise awareness. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, Dennis.
But you know what?
Sorry, go.
I said, but it is what it is, and we're all in good spirit. Fucking the Arizona is open.
Yep.
Restaurants are open again, so we're doing great. I hope in England you guys are open. Are you guys opening up yet?
Well, this is a slim fit suit and it's baggy. So there's your answer. I'm doing cardio every day, but mate, I was saying to Kaleem, the producer, I was saying like it's starting to wear a bit fucking thin now. I need to get to the gym. We need to get something in place because I really am itching to train now. Because like you said, we were in the same boat, but I think everyone's starting to get a bit twitchy now and starting to miss the weights, So. I mean, summer's coming, mate, and like you said earlier on, you said you were saying about 44. It wasn't. I was like, I'm 44 in a couple of weeks, mate. It's not that old.
When is your birthday?
June the 1st.
Oh, I'm May 31st.
Oh, I'll have a joint birthday party, right? I'm going to come and train at your gym in Arizona. We'll have a joint birthday.
I'll be 54 though. So
54. Wow, you look good, man. You look good.
I got 10 years on you, brother. 10 years.
You wouldn't guess that, would you? Jeez. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good to see that. It's good to see. I always like to see. I was saying this to Carly Miller. I like to see the legends of the industry like yourself. I like to see people who've reinvented themselves and managed to find like people like yourself, Dennis Wolf and Shawn Ray, all these people that managed to find new roles and new kind of identities, and still like Milos, he was great. He's still so active in the industry. I don't like to see him falling away and broke and bitter, and I like to see people active and contributing. And
if you think about it, Milos did fall off the market for a few years. Did it? You know what I mean? And he came back. That shows you how tough a son of a bitch he is.
Yeah.
He was gone for a while. He had to deal with a lot of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I only found his way back, and he's good at what he does. So you can't take that away from him. You can ever take it. I learned a lot from him. There's a lot of people on this planet that learned a lot from him.
He posted some pictures. Did you see those pictures he posted of you the other day from back in the Coliseum, Jace?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He has at least. I think he has at least about 1,000 pictions more. I guarantee you that.
What year was that? Because honestly, have a look on Milos Sarjev's Facebook. There's Dennis looking all-time freakiness. Was that what year was that?
I don't know, because I used to train there all the time when I come to the States. I used to stay in Fullerton and train there. So he took pictures. Milos was.
You look photoshopped in that picture. You look photoshopped, and you're not.
Yeah. This is Milos. Milos would. We would go train, and Milos would come. He would sneak around with his camera. He would wait till you. He would never fucking disturb. He would never disturb you while you train.
Okay.
He would wait till you finish, and then he would say, "Come on, let me take a couple of pictures. Let me take a couple of pictures." Every day.
Every day.
So he has pictures. I guarantee you, he has so many pictures, unseen photos.
Yeah.
He has lots of them. I guarantee you. Not only me, everybody who trained there. Because Fullerton was the mecca for a while.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he posted some pictures of you and then Luke Wood the other day. And I tell you what, those pictures of you, your chest, your shoulders, you just look so freaky. I think sometimes people will forget how good you were, because they always just say like this guy like in the gym, you just think, how could anyone beat this? How could anyone get freakier and bigger? Because you look photoshopped, and this is before digital photography as well. So more power to you, mate.
To be perfectly honest, I forgot. Sometimes I look back at pictures. I was like,
shit.
Fuck. Because you expect this to get worse and worse and bigger and bigger and bigger. I said, by now, I had probably expected that people be like 300 pounds average on the stage. You know what I mean? But when you look back, it kind of like, you don't see too many that out. There's Ramy, there's Rory, there's freaks.
Yeah.
But it's not like back then. There were a lot of freaks back then. Paul Gillette, fucking, there was Ronnie, NASA. There was Jean-Pierre Fuchs.
Jean-Pierre Fuchs,
Marcus Rule.
Yeah.
Marcus Rule. There were so many freaks back then. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's good to look back.
Do you know?
I feel so much better today.
I think one of the pictures that I always completely, my eyes popped out, was those ones in Thailand when you're outside in the parking lot. Every single time you posted, you had the thing on your head and stuff. I mean, you were in like a vest, and you just think, how could it was like when you look at pictures of Ronnie Coleman, you think, how can a human being get that big and muscular? You like 6-8 weeks out, you just look like an alien. You literally look like something from another planet. They were shocking, those Thailand pictures, mate. It must have been after you trained and you came out.
I was the one that started the Broncos pictures. I started it.
Yeah.
There was nobody that posted. The internet has just started.
Yeah.
Nobody and back then nobody even showed himself. I was living in Thailand. It was 2000. It was the first show I did in the US. 99 was the New York Pro. Mm-hmm. But after that, the next year, 2000 was my first. I got ready for the Ironman, and then I was hoping for an invite for the Arnold, which I didn't get until Wednesday before the Arnold.
Yeah.
So, and I said, how can I, because I'm in Thailand, I'm so far away from the center of the sport.
Yeah.
How can I, because I already understood that people need to see you in order to talk about you.
Yes, well, they certainly did that, mate. Fuck.
So I said, we're going to have to upload some pictures. And it was dial-up back then. It took like 45 minutes for one picture.
Were they 35 millimeter? Were they?
Yes, there was regular pictures, yes.
Old school.
So we went back outside in the gym. We took pictures and then we just posted them. And I don't know. I had the world shook up. I think it helped me to create a name for myself.
You certainly did that. In fact, can you do me a favor? Can you, if you've got any on your phone, can you WhatsApp a few to me? Because I'd like to put these into this show. Because I need you to understand what this guy was putting out in like back in the day in 35 millimeter. It will blow your mind. I mean, by now you'll have seen them, so I'll shut up. But
I will send you a shitload of pictures you can post.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to a shitload of pictures from Dennis James. Okay, one final thing. You said about you mentioned there about people being good at what they do. This is to Jake Wood and Dan Solomon. Get Dennis back with Bob Chick at the press conference, please, because it's you and Bob at the press conference. I'll be honest. I mean, Shawn Ray is fantastic. He's a very good commentator, fantastic interviewer. But we need the chemistry of you and Bob Chick together at the press conference. I'm sorry, but it was not the same without you, mate. 100%. So, Jake, Dan, sort it.
I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, we did it. Me and Bob, we did it for 9 years. You know.
Perfect.
And I didn't go to the press conference last year because I had a gorilla wear photo shoot.
You didn't miss much,
at the same time. Yeah, I was told. People told me. Here's the thing. And this is not a knock on Shawn. Shawn is an expert.
He's one of the best. He's one of the all-time best. Yeah.
He is one of the best. And there's no knock on Shawn. What I'm saying is, to get people to talk, it's a little different. You know what I mean? These athletes, we know what they feel like, to get them to talk.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a respect thing, I don't even know how to say it without something stupid.
You and Bob are the perfect blend. The chemistry's right. The back and forth, you come in with the questions and you can see Bob giving you the nod. It's like, because you're experienced, you've worked together for 9 years. Maybe Bob and Shawn in a couple of years will be absolutely amazing too. But for me, that was one of the things I really looked, because at the press conference, that's what kicks off the Olympia. That's the thing that gets everyone talking. And so I really would like to see you back there, mate.
Yeah. It was fun every year. So I heard it wasn't as good last year, but let's see what happens this year. We'll never know.
All right, Dennis.
You never know.
All right, Dennis. Well, I think I've taken I think I've taken double the time I was asking you for. So I really, really appreciate you coming on. Because I like it because you challenge me, and I like that because Milos has done that a few times now as well on messages and stuff. He was like, no.
So now do your research and check what time was the first year at the Orleans. What year?
Oh, can you edit that out, please?
Research it. Because you almost lost your whole salary.
Oh, no. Yeah. No, you caught me there. I was thinking, because I remember 2003 was the year that they bought it, and obviously it was another year or two before they moved it. So, yeah, you caught me there, mate. You caught me there. Well done.
Yeah. That I know for sure.
All right, then, Dennis.
It was good talking to you. Good talking to you as always. God, stay safe.
Yep.
God bless you all. And we'll see you soon, brother. All right?
See you in Vegas, buddy.
All right. Take care.
And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On the Rise Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And we're joined all the way from New York, finally on Global Muscle. We got Gregg Valentino!
Hey!
He's tapping himself. I like that. How are you, Gregg?
Good, Giles. I can't complain. It's just a dog chasing his tail always. You know what I mean? Never getting it, but chasing it anyway.
Yeah, Gregg. Obviously, I follow your social media, and a couple of months ago, I was shocked to see that you'd had, is it throat cancer?
Yes.
Tell us about that, mate. Tell us about that. How are you now? How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing better. I'm good. Body, mind, spirit's good, but the throat is still recuperating. So I can't, even though I talk it sounds like I'm talking normal, but it's not, shit's not moving right in my throat. Yeah. And it's going to take a while because I had 3 surgeries in 5 weeks' time. You know what I mean?
Whoa, okay.
And I'm over here in New York, so I'm in the middle of Coronaville, you know. I'm surrounded by that shit, you know. So I'm in the hospital with all Corona patients and in ICU and all kinds of shit happening. So it's, you know, it's rough.
Yeah.
They say they got all the cancer out of my throat, but, you know, they cut a lot of shit out of my throat. And then I got the cut that's on the neck, you know.
Yeah.
That was my lymph nodes. But so other than that, I mean, I feel good, you know, but I'm still recuperating.
So when did you find out that you had it, and what was the symptoms?
Well, I had no pain in my throat, but I had a growth, like a tumor, and it was coming off of where my tonsil was.
Yeah.
And you know, so I went in and I had one surgery where they took the tumor out, but the doctor didn't get everything. It was a woman. She kept saying, "Nah, I don't think it's cancer. I just think it's a growth and this and that." And she was wrong. It was cancer. So then I had to go back just a couple weeks later and have the whole tonsil taken out, have the muscle behind the tonsil taken out, have the other tonsil taken out, have the lymph nodes taken out, you know, like all the muscles in your throat. So when I swallow, you know, when you swallow, you have muscles that squeeze and bring food down your throat.
Yeah.
With me, a lot of that, some of that's gone. So it's weird, you know.
Oh God, yeah.
So,
how do you eat?
It's not easy. For the longest time, I didn't eat. You know, I went like 2 months without eating any solid food, just Jello, broth. You know, like chicken broth and stuff like that. I couldn't eat food. I drank some muscle milks, you know, some protein shakes, but even that would burn my throat. It was the weirdest thing. Something like a muscle milk actually like burned my throat. You know, when you sit there and you drink it, it's like, shit, this is sweet, but it's, you know, I had all raw. You know, down here. So but you know, there's nothing you could do. You know, that's the way life is. Sometimes life throws you a few curveballs, and you know, you gotta just go with the flow.
How have you been in yourself though, generally in the last few months, with it all happening?
You know, you know, it's hard because I had a really bad bleeding episode, and which came like a week after the second operation. So they had to redo the operation, and then like you get your whole throat cauterized because you can't stitch a throat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was actually drowning in my own blood. So they had to knock me out. And then when I woke up in ICU. At first I was paralyzed. And that was really, when you could only move your eyeballs, that's it.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, God.
And then that was so scary. And then I don't know if they knocked me back out or I just fell back asleep because I was scared, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And then when I woke up the second time, I'm in ICU. My family has no idea where I am because I was in one hospital and that's where I was drowning in my own blood. And they had to take, you know, I was pulling chunks of blood out of my throat because it coagulates down, you know, and it was really bad. So they knocked me out and they sent me to this big hospital. It's the same hospital that Dave Palumbo actually, when he was in med school, did his med school stuff. That, you know, it's a big research hospital. It's called Westchester Medical Center, Grasslands.
Yeah.
I was in there and it was a nightmare, man. I woke up in the ICU and I'm tied to the bed. You know, they got your arms tied to the bed.
Yeah.
So you don't pull out the tubes.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept telling him, like, you know, I was mouthing the words and nodding and trying to get them over to me and everything, you know, because I couldn't talk with my head, couldn't talk with my mouth because I had the tubes down my throat. And they were almost like laughing at me. It was really fucking straight. They were like, "Ah, you're fine, you know, you don't worry about it."
Yeah. And you're struggling trying to breathe.
What's that?
And you're struggling with blood in your throat.
Yeah. Well, you know, at that time now, the blood's, you know, like that's all fixed, you know, it's all cauterized and it's all, you know, they burn the shit out of your throat. It's really shot. It's, if you look down your throat, it's all white. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really crazy. But anyway, so I'm over there and the nurse is like Mrs. Clump. She's this big fat black woman and she's over there humming. She's like taking my blood pressure. And I'm like, holy shit, man, I'm in the middle of a fucking nightmare, like Twilight Zone.
Okay.
So I'm telling her, please, I can't breathe, get these tubes out of my throat. I don't need to, I was on a ventilator.
Yeah.
And I was in the same area where all these, like, you know, Corona patients are. So I'm in the middle of Corona Central there.
So when was it? Sorry, Greg. When was this? What date? Around when was this?
You're talking March.
Oh, right.
I had March 17th is when I had the operation, the first one, and then March 25th.
Yeah.
24th into the 25th is when I had the second operation. That's a 1 week difference.
Wow.
You know, imagine being knocked out. You have a general anesthesia, having to go through all that shit. 1 week, and then 1 week later. So now I wake up, and, you know, she's all over there doing a humming and shit. And I'm like freaking out because I got these tubes. I'm on a ventilator. So finally, I'm like, this is not right. So I started like gagging because I'm like fidgeting because they're not helping me. They're not. Yeah. I want them to get the ventilator out. They're not helping me. And as I was moving around like this, I guess maybe the tubes that are down your throat kind of made me gag. So I sat up, and all in one motion, I snapped the ropes. You know, not the ropes, but the restraints.
Yeah.
I snapped them, and I jumped up off the thing, and I pulled the tubes out, and they're screaming. Mrs. Klump is like, he's put the tubes out. He's put the tubes out. You know? So they all come running in, and I fucking threw the tubes on the floor, and I said, look, I could breathe. I don't need it. I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, calm down. And I'm like, calm down. You're telling me to fucking calm down. I have a ventilator in, and I could breathe. There's no reason to put a ventilator because, you know, let me tell you something, and you could Google this. If you're on a ventilator, especially for any length of time, that could cause pneumonia. You know what I'm saying? You can get pneumonia from that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't. You can't cough up your you know.
Yeah.
Your shit and everything like that. So now I said, listen, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And they're like, whoa. And now I realize my dick is attached to a tube, you know, so they had a tube. I didn't even know that, you know. So
I've been there, mate. I've been there. Well, I've had a tube. I've had a tube up there. Yeah. It's held in with a bubble. It's held in with a bubble of air, isn't it? And I remember when they pulled it out, and it was dragging me across the bloody the bed. It was not a pleasant experience at all.
Yeah, no, it's not, man, not at all. You know what I mean? And she pulled that. You know, I told her get the tube out, or I'm taking it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, don't do that. And they're like, we'll do it, because they knew, you know, like he pulled the fucking tubes out of his throat. It was so bad. I said, I need a phone. Where's my fucking phone? They lost my phone. They lost my clothes. I said, get me a phone. So they get me a phone.
Yeah.
I called my family. They're like, oh my God, thank God. Because they didn't know where I was. This started at 12 o'clock at night the night before. Now it's 4 in the afternoon the next day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, I called my girlfriend. I said, come get me the fuck out of here. I'll walk out of here naked. I don't give a shit, you know. She brings me down clothes. I signed myself out of the ICU. I told them I'm not staying here. I do not have coronavirus. You treat me like I have fucking coronavirus. There's all the fucking patients in the other rooms. And it makes me wonder. See, because you don't have, right now, you don't have family to look out for you. You know, Giles, you ever been in a hospital, you know, your girlfriend's there, your mother, somebody, and they'd be like, excuse me, can you get him a pillow? Excuse me, why doesn't he have any water? He hasn't had anything to drink. And, you know, like, they look out for your family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I saw a little boy in there. I would say this was about like 10 years old, and they were wheeling him, and he was on a ventilator. I'm thinking, and, you know, he kind of looked at me, and I'm like, oh, my God, you imagine that little guy, you know, little boy, 10 years old. He got no mother, no father there to help him, to look out for him. You know, kids are scared. You know, they're using this coronavirus to make it like, you know, now they control what you do, what happens to you. You know what I mean?
Is that how it is in New York? Is that what it's like in New York? Because obviously you said it's Corona Central. It's where the virus has kind of hit the hardest in America, isn't it? Because obviously, is that probably?
Oh yeah.
I'd imagine due to the population density. But what's it like there now?
I'd say it's like fucking. Oh, it's like something like after a fucking apocalypse over here, man. There's cops and fucking going nuts and shit. You know, they brought in National Guard and shit. You know what I mean? Like, you go down to New York City, Times Square, it's closed. There's nobody. Tumbleweed go across the road.
Whoa.
And that's not normal.
Like that Will Smith film, isn't it? What's it called? I Am Legend. Yeah, I Am Legend. Yeah,
I love that movie. That's what it's like.
Is it? Really?
Like, I swear to God, that's a great analogy. That's what it's like. I Am Legend. Yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad. New York sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I was born in Manhattan, raised in the Bronx, and in Westchester. You know, AOC. You know where AOC is, right?
Nope.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Okay.
You guys know over there or no? You don't know that?
No, we're just Brits.
She's like this big liberal that's over here. That's like Joe Biden just brought her into his thing. You know, he wants her to. She's like fucking creates havoc. But if you don't know who she is, you got a lot of American watching this. They'll know who she is.
Okay.
She lived right down the street from me here. She's in where I live. We went to the same high school, just 30-year difference.
Yeah.
But I'm saying she's a nut. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
New York is run by fucking like Nazis and shit. The Democrats are nuts.
Ever thought about moving?
But it's hard though because I have a house here and I got my whole like family and shit. I got my niece lives with me, my daughter lives with me. I got everybody over here. It's hard. I'd have to move the whole clan, and they don't want to go.
Yeah. So what have you been doing yourself generally in the last say year or two then? Because I keep up with social media and I see your videos and stuff, and so you the thing with Generation Iron recently. I don't know when that was filmed, but I know you wrote the book. What have you been up to?
I'm doing the same shit. I still write for Muscle Sport Mag.
Pietro.
And by the way, I do a lot of stuff with RX, and I never, I love Dave, I love John. I don't get involved with any of that stuff with Steve Blackman because I happen to love Steve Blackman. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how you feel. Is this MD or no?
This is MD.
Oh. Yeah, I do. I really do. I even text Steve here and there, and he'll tell you that.
No, so Greg, he speaks very. I was at the Arnold Classic. Steve speaks very highly of you, and I know because I interviewed you at the Arnold Classic for MD in 2018, and you said really nice things about Steve, and it's he said it's a very very you got very happy memories, and so it's all positive.
He gave me a chance. I mean, a long time. He pulled me out of the gutter. I got to be honest with you. He pulled me out of a pile of shit when everybody, even John Romano, told him, what are you going to hire this guy for? This is like in 2000 or whatever it was. Yeah. You know what I mean? And, I was with him for like almost, it's close to 15 years. So the thing is, and I loved the guy. He was never anything but great to me. Not good, but great. And if it wasn't for him, I'm telling you, I'd be a pile of shit. I'm telling you right now. So I love Steve Blackman. Yeah. So I don't get involved with any of that stuff whenever I do any of the RX things with them. Yeah, they can say whatever they want, but I never throw, I don't throw any. And I've told them right on the air, listen, I'm not gonna say I like Steve. Steve and I get on great, and I love Elise and all of them. And I'm not just saying that because this is their show. I'll say it. I've said it on RX. I don't care.
You've said it before. I've seen you say it many times. And in fact, actually, you and me haven't always been friends. Because it was when actually I joined MD in he's smiling. I joined MD in 2010, and I remember because you used to go on the forum, and I remember you called me an effing pencil neck, and I called you an effing disgrace.
Yes, I remember.
We used to go at it. And then I remember because Steve put it, because I was doing a Euromuscle Scene column for MD, and I just started, and Steve put a post up on the forum, and he says, Giles joined the team, and he says, Giles, brother, I'm sure you're going to tell me where to go or something. He says, but just welcome to the team, and really glad to everyone. And I said, I've got to be called back in return now. I said so, and we've been great ever since. So it was actually when Steve announced me as joining the team, that's when you and me kind of became bros.
Oh yeah, listen.
10 years ago that was.
I understand. First of all, when I was juiced out of my mind, and I was taking 6,000 milligrams of test.
Those were the days.
Listen, you could ask me the most personal, incredible shit. You're not going to hurt my feelings. That's what makes the interviews go good. So don't hold back. Okay. But I took 6,000 milligrams, more than 6,000.
6,000.
I used to take what's that?
6,000 milligrams. Hang on,
you gotta remember, I was a drug dealer back then, so I had it like that. And I was taking a Steris, right?
Yeah.
And
Steris,
I was getting, because I was getting that shit and selling it.
Yeah.
But I was taking the 10 cc, 200 milligram bottles. I was taking one bottle, that's 2,000 milligrams right there, 10 cc, 200 milligrams. I take propionate, ethylate, cypionate. Propionate was my favorite because it hits you fast.
Yeah.
But I would take one bottle on Monday, one bottle on Wednesday, and then one bottle on Friday.
What? That's 30 mil. 30 mil of test.
That's just the test. I mean, well, I was actually taking more than that because I would take the Russian sustenance. You remember in the little ampules?
Oh yes, I remember those.
A few of those cute little ampules.
Little
ampules.
I'll show you some.
I would take those, right? I would take a few of those.
Yeah.
I would take Mexican Sten, Sten. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
And then I would also take an equipoise, right?
Yeah.
So I would take a jug, a 50 cc jug. I would take that throughout the week. So that's a lot of fucking oil. And that's what I would put it, I would put that shit in my arms or wherever I could stick it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because you used to site inject with equi and probe, wasn't it? Because I know other bodybuilders, other pro bodybuilders have injected with equipoise and probe, and it said it localizes really well. It really kind of swells the area, Don't try this,
that's exactly what I did.
That's what happened.
And I even took orals too. Not for nothing. I took the Russian D-ball. My favorite was metanabol, which is Polish D-ball. I used to love those fucking sexy little orange strips with the cute little pills, and I would love that shit. Yeah. That hit me like a freight train. I loved it.
Did you ever get blood work?
Oh, now, yeah. I mean, now I do. But you got to understand, I'm 60 years old. I'm 60.
Not only am I amazed that you're still alive, but you actually look very, very good for 60, mate. I've got to say.
Well, thank you. But what people don't realize is that I didn't look like that. Like, all those years, I mean, this has been, that was all that shit that you see, like with me draining the arm for the TLC show. That was a hematoma. They mixed two stories together.
Yeah.
I had an infection from shooting shit in my one arm, but then I had the hematoma, which was blood, because my son, who was 9 years old, now he's 30 years old. Okay, was NSA intelligence with the government, but he let go of a bat I used to stand behind the catcher and help the catcher with the baseball team, and he would let go of the bat this way. So he hit me, in the arm, and my arm blew up with blood, so I drained it. Yeah. But they made it look like two different stories,
Yeah.
With the TLC thing. But I don't care. Listen, there's no such thing as bad publicity unless it's your obituary. So anyway, I drained that shit. Yeah. So I understand when people see that giant fucking. First of all, both arms didn't look like a balloon. It was one arm. So all the guys like, Sandoe! He shot Sandoe! It's not like, what do you think? I shot it in one arm and didn't shoot it in the other. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the one arm was a balloon. So what I'm saying is I do, but I understand. Listen, I understand, the way you felt and the way people feel when they see, when they see that shit of me. I understand, like, oh my God, but that was fucking like 2000 and back. You know what I mean? I didn't look like that. Even like, you've met me. I don't look anything like that. If it was Synthol or whatever the fuck, I can do that right now and have these.
Greg?
Look, my arms aren't. Look,
yeah, still break. One thing, Greg, I want to talk about. On the flip side of that, see, I think that's why you and me got into it. I think remember you said, hang on a minute, even natural, I had a better physique than you on stage. And you know what? You really did, because I've seen all the pictures of you from the 80s and the early 90s. You were like a really, really good natural bodybuilder, weren't they? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was. I was actually, guys. I used to find it like hot that fucking people would say, "Yeah, you would take steroids," and I knew I never touched steroids for 23 years. Yeah. A lot of pictures you see too are me in the 70s, in the fucking 70s, when nobody looked like that. Yeah. The problem is, I have great my genetics. Dave Palumbo always says, "Dude, he's seen pictures of me at 11 years old before I ever touched 11. Weights." Yeah, I was built like a black dude. I had all fucking muscles and shit, a little tiny waist and everything. Yeah. And that's not a racist statement. Listen, guys, simmer down. Any of you people out there, simmer down.
It's fine. It's fine.
Not racist. My kids are part black. But what I'm saying is, I was like, what I meant by that is, how like you see some, you could go to New York City and you can see like a crackhead laying on the street, and it's a black guy. He's got every fucking body part. You say, holy shit, look at the structure on this guy. Imagine if he lifted weights. Well, I was always built like that, Yeah. And as a matter of fact, when I was in 6th grade, a kid said to me, "You got like all these like apples on you." I was like, "No, I don't." You know what I mean? Like I almost was like offended by that. Yeah. But anyway, here I am talking like a crazy man, this fucking all fast and hyper and shit, and my throat's fucking jumping.
Are you okay?
But no, I was a natural bodybuilder for 23 years, and then I used to go to the gym and shit, and I owned 3 gyms in my day.
Okay.
And the last gym that I owned, I'm at the gym and some kid comes in, you ask me, dude, can you help me train or teach me, whatever, So I show him how to train. 6 months later, I see that kid, he's walking in, he's fucking gigundo, way bigger than me. And I'm going, holy shit.
Yeah.
So I'm looking down. I had a big box of anabolics, which was Dominican D-ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat there and I'm looking at it and I'm going, you know what? Fuck this. And I just started taking it. And then once I took it, I'm one of them guys, dude, if you're going to rob a bank, I even want the rolls of pennies. You understand what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Give me the fucking pennies. So I just said, I took the whole box of D-ball. I was like, fuck this.
How many?
How many? Why stop at one or two? The minute you take one, you're no longer natural. So if I'm no longer going to be natural.
Right, okay.
And then I went nuts. And started fucking shooting and,
Yeah. So it escalated quite quickly. The thing is, it's like I remember when Kai Greene was at 2005. He went over to the dark side, as you say, and he just completely exploded. So the guys that train naturally for many, many years, learn how to train, learn how to eat, have good genetics. People like yourself, when they do take even the smallest amount, they just 9 times out of 10, their just physique goes to the next level, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Listen, the minute I took it, well-trained muscle responds better than untrained muscle. Okay? Like, if you see me now, I have a really good physique, and I've been laying in a hospital. I haven't fucking even worked out with weights. It's because it's like they have these shows in America, Life After People. If there's a building here, but there was once a stream here, one day that building will crack in half and a stream will come back. Well, whatever you had naturally, when you quit bodybuilding or or you stop taking all that shit and you go back to normal, that's the you will go back to that type of physique. That's why some of these guys that you see when they retire, you're like, holy fuck, what happened to him? It's because he's one of them guys that came in the gym that after 3 months was already taking steroids. You can't do that.
Greg, it frustrates me when I don't want to say men's physique because it's not just men's physique. It seems to be, the Anavar boys. The guys that literally I've seen it. I've trained it. I trained in hardcore gyms, and from day one, they're literally going, right, okay, there's my training routine, there's my diet routine. Okay, that's that. Okay, I want gear. It's like, no, don't go on gear this soon. You've got to learn and train. And I mean, I started taking gear when I was about 17, and I really should have waited really till I was 20, 21, really. But because I hadn't been training long enough, I didn't know. I was probably till I was about 4 or 5 years before I even knew how to train properly. I was training too heavy. My form was sloppy. I was probably eating too strict. And in hindsight, I really wish I'd waited, to be honest. But these guys that take gear from day one, it's like, don't do it like that. You trained, 23 years as a natural bodybuilder?
23 years
before you took anything.
Giles, you have to understand something. Listen.
Yeah.
I started training in the 70s. 1972 is the first time I ever picked up a weight, right?
Wow.
Now, you got to understand, I used to read Muscle Builder, okay, back then. And that was the big magazine. And the bodybuilding magazines did not talk about steroids because Joe Weider wanted bodybuilding to get in the Olympics. So steroids were a hush-hush subject. If you guys ever look at pictures of Schwarzenegger, when he would win like the 1972 Mr. Universe or something, not the Olympia, the Mr. Universe. You'd see him standing there, and maybe you'd have him, Serge Dubray, or some other couple bodybuilders, and in the background, there's all these guys who are standing there that look like swimmers. It's because most bodybuilders didn't really know about steroids. It was a hush-hush subject.
Yeah.
I really believed that, like, taking Weider protein powder was going to make me jacked. You know what I mean? I would take it and then go look in the mirror, see, did I get any bigger? You know what I mean? It was like fucking... I didn't know. I only knew about working out, and I only knew about training and eating, protein, because that's what the magazines talked about. You believed Arnold, I got this size because, I took this protein. And you believed that shit. He never talked about taking steroids. It wasn't until way later that he even admitted that he took anything.
It was like, 10, 15 years ago, he said, it was more experimental in those days. Because I used to work for and train with John Citrone that used to compete with Arnold back in the 60s. And he only stopped competing a few years ago. And he was saying, he says, back in those days, he said, a stack was, he says, we'd go to the doctor once a month for a shot of sustenance. He says, and then it'd be like probably 3-4 D-ball. He says, that's what we took in those days. He says, and that's all we needed. He says, the mega doses now, it's like it completely blows their minds,
Well, Giles, let me tell you something. You see these guys, like, I don't even know. Like, I just was, like, on the internet before, so Colombo just put up a video with some guy, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? Big Ramy? They all look like Big Ramy today. Look, they had to, back in Arnold's day, you had the over 200 and the under 200. Franco would win the under 200, Arnold would win the over 200. They go against each other.
Yeah.
You got great bodybuilders like Lee Labrada, Muhammad Bakawi, guys like that. Those guys would be physique guys today. I mean, Labrada weighed like, I think, 189. You know what I'm saying? Danny Padilla was only like in maybe 160s, 170s. Today, those guys, their height. I have a friend, Alessandro Save. He's 5'1".
I know Alessandro. I judged him in Norway in 2009. He won it. And I remember he was backstage and he took his baggies off. And I just remember everyone just stopping and looking at his legs. His legs.
Giles, he's
a freak. He's a freak
monster.
Yeah.
Right now. I mean, if you saw that was 2009.
Yeah.
You got to see him now. I mean, if you see him right now, I mean, in the off season he's 255, and I'm talking about hard, no fat.
What is he? 5'2", 5'3", 5'2", 5'3",
5'1",
5'1". Yeah, I remember I was on the coach going back from the show, and he said, and I said, are you going to go drop down to like 202, 212? And he says, no, I want more size. I want to be 100 kilo on stage. And I was like, oh, mate, maybe you should drop down, keep the midsection nice and tight. But I saw him at the Arnold Classic, and he was absolutely shredded to the bone. I was really impressed with his condition.
Yes.
I had a little chat with him as well, because I like Alessandro. He's a nice guy. He was a lorry driver or something in Italy. He got a big family. He had a family business of lorry driving, and then he moved to New York, wasn't it?
Right.
Sorry, I went off track a bit there. Sorry.
I'm very good friends with him. The problem is that can you see me?
I can see you. Yeah, it's all good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because some sort of shit's popping up on here. This is my girlfriend's phone. I still have a flip phone. So yeah, when you were talking when you got me for this interview, that was my girlfriend you were talking to on Instagram. She would relay the messages to me.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so what was I going to say? So anyway, so the bodybuilders today, it's so bad that now which was once the 202 class is now the 212 class because nobody could get in, nobody can get in that, and it's too hard.
But what's your take on the classic class then? What do you think of that? Surely with what you like in the 80s and the 70s, that must have been, I know Arnold and a lot of the other, the kind of the 70s bodybuilders were quite happy when this category came along. What's your take?
I love it. I think it's the best thing that happened to bodybuilding. Dude, everybody, all these guys from Kuwait. You got guys that didn't lift weights 5 years ago. They just started working out. And now they're walking around the same size as Big Ramy, and it's unbelievable. Everybody's huge today. And and it doesn't look good because, a 40-inch ripped waist and an ass that's this big but striated. It doesn't, and legs that are not normal. I mean, they're not two garbage pails and shit. It's just, with no calves. It just doesn't look right to me.
Who's your favorite physique today then, and why? Competing today. Who catches your eye?
I mean, oh shit.
First one that pops into your head.
Like guys like that.
Oh, you like the classic guys. But what about the open guys? Who in the open or the 212 do you think, that's a nice physique?
Wow. I lost track of the guys today because it's kind of sickens me. You know what I mean? I liked when Victor. You never see a bubble gut on Victor Martinez or any of that shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So
fantastic.
He had the V taper is what impresses me.
Beautiful. He
had that great V taper. When he's in shape, that one year that he could have beat Cutler. I mean, that's to me that his physique because all these
2007.
guys today. They're too big. They're too, and it's body modification. You know what I'm saying? It's not even bodybuilding. It's more like body modification. I know the guys on the internet. Oh, I love a fruit, bro. He's huge. You see one of these guys like that guy Morgan Ast. You know what I mean? He gets up there and he gets on the stage and it just doesn't look good.
6'4", 320 pounds on stage in his pro debut, shredded to the bone.
Right. I mean, Yeah, but it doesn't. It looks like a fucking giant shredded ham. You know what I mean? Like,
but hang on. So what about when Shawn Rhoden won the Olympia? You can't say that's an ugly physique.
No, Shawn Rhoden's got a great physique. I like Shawn Rhoden.
So you were happy when he won the Olympia then? Were you happy when he won the Olympia?
Yes, I do. Hey, listen, when Phil Heath, excuse me, he's not my favorite bodybuilder by any means. Mm-hmm. But when he's in shape, his physique's amazing. You know what I mean? Because his waist is small when he doesn't have any bloat. See, what I don't like, and it happened to even Rich Gaspari, when Rich Gaspari was placing every year second to Lee Haney, he figured, okay, I'm going to try to match Lee now. So he tried to get bigger, and that is no good.
Yeah.
That's like Muhammad Ali.
He started to slip, didn't he? That's when he started to slip. When he started to get bigger, and he dropped to 4th, and then he was 5th, and then he dropped to 10th, and then he kind of did a couple more shows and never did an Olympian, retired, and then started Gaspari Nutrition.
You lose your lines, though. You lose what makes you you. Yeah. Listen, Muhammad Ali was, he'd box and move, right? That's his style. But if he said, I'm going to fight like Mike Tyson, I'm going to come in here and just start fucking, that would never work. It's just like Tyson. If Tyson tried to fight like Ali, moving around, boxing, smack, moving, it's not, styles make fights. You got to go with your strong point. I remember Lee Haney saying, if I was Tom Platz, I'd get on stage and I would do nothing but hit leg shots all day, all night, because that would make, takes people's, they focus on that. Like, oh shit, look at the legs. They forget that the physique on the top, the lines weren't there and it didn't match. But you would, you go with your strong point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't, and I'm saying to you that's the thing. I think that what makes Phil Heath, is his lines, his structure. Yeah. So don't try to get more muscle on. Just try to keep honing those lines. Keep making your physique more of a physique. You follow?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to throw some quick questions at you. Best bodybuilder of the 60s in your opinion?
I mean, in the 60s, I mean, Bill Pearl was great, but you got to say Sergio Oliva. I mean, he had like a 29-inch waist with today's mass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that was with
Arnold Schwarzenegger once said he thinks that Sergio Oliva might have had the greatest lines, greatest physique ever.
Yeah. Best bodybuilder of the 70s?
Best bodybuilder in the 70s? I mean,
or physique bodybuilder. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, and by the way, Arnold was only like maybe 15 pounds or so off of being a physique guy today. Think about it.
Yeah, he was about 240. He'd be 6'1".
No, everybody always says 240. He was never 240. Lee Haney, I remember when he was like 245, people thought he was, Arnold, I don't think Arnold ever reached 240. I think maybe in the offseason he might have, but I don't know. If you look at the real numbers, I think he was 225.
So Sergio 60s, Arnold 70s. What about the 80s?
Oh, well, Lee Haney. So unbelievable. Yeah. So unbelievable. Tiny waist, suck in that stomach. Unbelievable.
A vacuum at like 245 with those tiny little. He was the one that I think the phrase "wasp waist" came from Lee Haney, didn't it?
Yes, it was just amazing. I mean, he almost had like Tony Pearson's type structure, but just so much bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Brian Buchanan with the small waist. His waist was insane.
Oh, it was 20, was it 26, 27 inches, and he had a 52-inch chest. His chest was double the size of his waist. Go check out the 88 or 89 Olympia and check out the Brian Buchanan, because he made a comeback in 95,
I tell you, I liked his physique. I think that if he would have just kept going and really honing that physique with that small waist, oh my God.
And I mean, I remember talking to a photographer at the time, and he said, because he said he needed to beef his legs up, and he said, Giles, he says, I tell you what, he says, that's when, I realized about genetics. This photographer was telling me, this writer of a magazine, a guy called Malcolm Wyatt, and he was saying, Giles, he said, I did a leg training photo shoot with him once, and he said, and he was squatting 700 pounds to the floor for reps. He said, so it wasn't like he wasn't training his legs hard. It's just that his genetics all went to his upper body, which kind of, which maybe held him back from those top 5 Olympias, But so 80s. What about the 90s?
Wow, that's a tough one because it was great physiques. I mean,
Yeah.
Shawn Ray's up there. I know a lot of people don't like Shawn Ray. I love Shawn Ray. He's one of my good friends. It's funny because him and Lee Priest are both two of my good friends, and they hate each other.
Yeah, they do. They really hate each other, don't they? Oh my God.
I think Shawn Ray, Vince Taylor, Kevin Levrone, those guys all were like, their physiques were amazing. I mean, the 90s were the era of amazing physiques. I mean, Dorian, you can't take Dorian out of the equation. You know what I mean? Dorian, it's just that Dorian brought in a little bit more of that block hair look that I, it's not my thing, what I like.
Yeah.
I mean, Lee Labrada's physique was amazing. You know what I'm saying? So he was 80s and 90s.
Yeah, going back to Dorian, I think like when you used to see the picture of Dorian just stood on stage, if you scan the lineup, you would think he's quite blocky. He's like, but thing is with Dorian, this is how I've always said this. I felt like his physique looked its best in the compulsory poses, which you get judged on. Everything came together, kind of flowed together. You know, it's like, so that's probably why he won as many times as he did, because he didn't have as nice a structure as Flex Wheeler or Kevin Levrone, Shawn Ray, or Vince Taylor. But his physique, just like that side tricep, the front lat spread, everything just kind of popped in those poses,
Well, the 90s was the era of amazing bodybuilders because, we you have to throw Flex Wheeler in there. Forgot about him. Even Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie Coleman in 99,
tiny old waist.
Like, I mean, that waist was small. I mean, he was unbeatable. You know what I mean? So that's the era of that might be the greatest era of bodybuilders. Vince Taylor, a lot of guys. There was so many good, really built guys. You could cut off their heads, and you knew who each physique was.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Distinct, very distinct.
Today, I could cut off Ashkenani and this other guy that I just saw. It looks like fucking. They all have those big legs, the fucking heavy waist, the thick. They all have that look. That Kuwait. I don't know what they're doing out there, but everybody, if you're 250, you're small. You know what I mean?
250. Did you have, back in the 90s and the early 2000s, did you ever train with any of the top pros?
I mean, I actually trained. I did some sets with Lee Labrada because the guys that were at my gym. So,
because I've seen pictures of you. I remember because your Rambling Freak column that ran for 15 years in MD. I remember seeing a lot of pictures of you with these guys. Like Arnold and Lou Ferrigno, and we've all read dozens of your funny stories, and so you were really in the heart of it. You really you were around these guys.
Yes, Samir Banu. I trained with him. I took it like in '81 though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In Gold's Gym, I was there. Victor Richards was a monster. My favorite was Rory Leidelmeyer.
Oh,
Rory Leidelmeyer
he still looks amazing.
Oh my God, you had to see him in person. His waist was like this.
Never turned pro.
His arms might have been bigger than his waist. He had such good, beautiful.
Yeah.
His physique was beautiful. It was a beautiful physique.
Greg,
they were like bowling balls.
Have you seen how he looks now? Because I follow his social media. He still looks good.
Yeah, no. Him and I, we talk here and there. If you want, I can help you get him on your show.
I'd love that.
Huh?
I'd love that. I like his person. He's got a really good personality as well. He's really kind of, even if I saw him today, he would kind of catch my eye. He'd catch my attention. Seems like he's a real passionate guy. Still loves the sport. Still loves to train. I like to see that.
He trained a lot of guys in the early '80s. He used to train guys like Rudy Hermosillo, John Aranita, and a lot of you people that watch this, you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But these guys were all good bodybuilders. See, Rory has excuse me, he has like an incredible mind. He's very, very smart. He has a unique way of looking at things, and he was there when bodybuilding was in its heyday. You know what I'm saying? In the '80s and all. He's got a unique. He's a philosophical guy. He's very good. He reminds me a little bit of Vince Gironda in his brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, everybody thinks like Vince Gironda. If you squatted, he would throw you out of the gym. He didn't believe in a lot of those things.
Was those weird parallel bar dips for chest, which I never got anything off my chest. I always hit my triceps.
But you know what though? Everybody's different. See, that's the thing. I mean, Paul DeMeo used to love hack squats. Lee Haney, leg press. There's some guys.
Yeah.
Even me. If you saw my legs, I have a leg video out. You could watch it when you're done. You'll be like, holy shit. And I'm not on any steroids right now. I just started doing a testosterone replacement with a doctor. So, but I wasn't on any steroids. My legs are my best body part. The thing is, though, you don't have to squat. I have narrow hips.
Right.
I'm not designed for squatting.
Okay.
You know.
Well, Paul Dillette said he didn't believe in squatting. He said you can go for leg. Dorian Yates says Smith machine squats were better for him with his long femurs and stuff. It was like, you know, because I was always kind of, you know, the Tom Platts. No, because I'm 6'1", and I always believed that the only way you could build legs was just purely barbell squatting, back barbell squatting. That was it, nothing else.
Yeah, see, it's not true though. Everybody's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I guarantee you, if I got you in the gym with me, if you have because you have narrow hips too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If I got you in the gym and I just said, you know, clear your mind. Just Leela Brada actually taught me this. Leela Brada said to me one time, he said, you know, I just finished eating, you know, him and Robin, his wife, they were out at some like country place, you know, in America here. And he said, I was sitting there, and it's all like fucking Farmville. And he goes, I was eating in a restaurant. And I'm looking outside, and I see these giant, like fucking 2,000-pound black Angus bulls. And he goes, I'm looking at them, and I realize that they're being held in by a little rickety fence.
Yeah.
A little wooden rickety fence. And they would walk up to the fence, and then they'd walk away. And then they'd walk up to the fence, and they'd go chew grass somewhere. And he said, I thought to myself, look at how farmers have, like, they've controlled the mind of those bulls, because that bull could walk right through that fence and not, you know, just mow it down like it's nothing. Yeah. Okay. And he said, it made me think about bodybuilders, because how many bodybuilders, they read these articles, they see this guy does this for his arms and that guy does that. And he said, they put fences in their brains and they're afraid to go beyond that. They believe I have to squat. If I don't squat, I'll never get big legs. Yeah. You understand that?
Yeah, it's like I had Vince Taylor on a few weeks ago, and I remember being my mind being blown when he said that all he did for his arms was cables. And I'm like, how do you get arms like that just from cables? It's just, it kind of, you know, turned everything on its head, because we all read the magazines, we all followed all the routines of the bodybuilders. I used to cut them out of the magazine to put them into files, and I used to follow Sean Ray's arm routine and Kevin Navone's leg routine to the letter, thinking, you know, a couple of months I'll be looking like them, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't. But see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That it doesn't necessarily go that way. You have to find out what's right for you. Yeah. If you're so stuck in the brain that you got to bench press or squat, you know, and it doesn't really hit you right. Dorian Yates, I don't think bench pressed, or whatever he was saying. I forgot what it is. That
flat bench. No, he did. He used to do a decline, or he used to do incline barbell. He said flat bench. He said, it just hurts my joints. For me, I just used to hurt my shoulders and my elbows. I got no chest growth out of it.
No, but that's what I'm talking about. It's that. See, people, that's what Labrada was trying to tell me, that he had his own, you know, ways of thinking. And he was telling me that he felt like, how many bodybuilders are like those bulls? They built these fences in their brain and they're afraid to go beyond. No, I got to go heavy, or I got to go do this. I could tell you, I don't want to name bodybuilders because everybody gets their butt hurt. But I've been in the gym with bodybuilders, like you said, that stand there and curl like fucking 20-pound dumbbells. You'll see them in the magazine, you know, because that's a photo, or, you know, if they're doing some video for online. But the reality is, they don't even, some of them don't lift heavy. Yeah. It's like Lee Haney used to say, make the muscle do the work. Don't stimulate. Don't annihilate.
Not annihilate. Yeah. Stimulate that. Yeah, I remember. And then Dorian was like, no, just annihilate it, you know. Totally different.
Dorian, what people don't realize is Dorian did heavy duty. Now, a lot of you guys out there think, oh, I do heavy duty. I get in there and I do it as heavy. No. Listen to me. Yeah. A true heavy duty, the Arthur Jones way. Yeah. Okay? The Arthur Jones. I knew Mike Benzer. He once told me that I'm not doing an efficient workout because I like volume. You know, and he was like, no way. If you could stop, you know, because the true heavy duty, one set could take 5 minutes to do, because they would do, you know, you do your repetitions till you can't do anymore. Then you do negatives, positives, negative. You got to be assisted. Then you take weights off and it continues. The set continues and bang, half reps, partial reps more. And by the time you're done, it's been like 5 minutes. You can't do too many sets like that. Yeah. I mean, Dorian Yates, that's why I called it blood and guts, because he fucking, you know, he left fucking, you know, a turd on the floor when he was done working out. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that. I know what you mean. He worked out hard.
He did.
He worked out It was blood and guts. Not everybody could do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's different. It would take him 5 minutes to do one set. You know?
Yeah. Okay, so what about the bodybuilders of the? I mean, we've left the 90s now, going into the noughties as we call them. Who's the best bodybuilder of the turn of the century, millennium?
Wow. Woo.
Come on.
I mean,
2000 to 2010. That was, that was when you were.
I still got to say Ronnie Coleman because I mean, he was so unbeatable. And so. If you talk to Shawn Ray, he would say it was between him and Lee Haney. Both of them guys, when he competed, you knew, okay, Lee Haney's going to win. Or, look at Ronnie. I mean, he was just so far ahead of everybody. It was just, I liked Jay, but Jay to me was blocky. You know what I mean? A little bit. Ronnie at the end, of course, he tried to get too big, and he started getting the gut and the whole bit, but. I mean, Ronnie was just so dominant. You know what I mean?
Do you remember?
You're talking about.
Do you remember the favorite year of Ronnie? When you mentioned '99, didn't you? You said that was the kind of the perfect combination of size and aesthetics. Is that what you think?
Yeah, I think '99 to 2000, 2001, maybe. You know what I mean? Like after that, see, these guys feel like I have to keep getting bigger. Even that's what happened. Even with Phil Heath. Phil Heath believes Phil, if you're watching this, don't try to get bigger. Just keep honing condition. Get that waist back to where it was when you were Phil Heath. When you were so dominant, people were like, holy shit, look at Phil Heath. That's what you have to bring.
Thing is with Phil,
nobody will beat.
Phil had size, but he also has that level of separation and quality and detail that someone like maybe the guys like Kai Greene maybe didn't have.
Right. I mean, I like Kai Greene, but he looks compact,
Yeah.
I tell you, I've told people this story before. Back in like 1990, 91, something like that, 92, I can't remember which year it was, somewhere around there. I was in Johnny Latt's gym in New York, right? I went to pick up my
Johnny
Latt.
Johnny Latt.
What's that?
Johnny Latt.
Johnny Latt's gym. Very famous New York gym.
Very cool name.
Yeah, right? Anyway, so we're at Johnny Latt's gym, and I'm outside, and there's a bunch of guys. Christian Duffy comes by, all these guys, right?
Yeah.
And my friend Paul goes to me, bro, you got to see this kid. He's inside. He's natural. It's this young black kid. He's competing. He's starting to win all these shows. He won some teenagers, and I'm outside and I'm posing, and all these guys are like, oh shit, I got my legs and all this stuff, and all of now, but I only weighed about, when you see those pictures of me, some of them I weighed in the 150s to 160s. I wasn't.
You were like a lighter 70, 80 kilo, weren't you? Your heaviest. I mean, we had such a nice aesthetic physique. It was really,
right. I had
really,
a tiny waist.
Yeah, it was a fantastic
My waist
physique.
was like 27 inches, 26 when I competed. So anyway. But I created the illusion, you know what I mean? It made my legs even look even bigger.
Yep.
So anyway, all of a sudden, my friend goes up and he brings this guy down, and it's this little black kid, and he comes out, and my friend Paulie's going, yo, take off your shit, show him, look, show Greg. And the kid comes out, he flexes, he takes off his shirt, flexes his lats and his legs, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, you're really natural? And he goes, yeah. And it was Kai Greene.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe. And here I was, because I was a little cocky in the sense that I knew, like, I was natural. All these other guys were built and big, and I could take off my shit and I could hang with them. You know what I mean? And then, I'm sitting there, and I one time took off my pants. I was flexing my legs next to Dean Caputo. And, he was a heavyweight at the time. And this is like,
Well, he was top six nationals. Top six nationals, wasn't he? Yeah.
He was predicted to win the nationals.
He was.
Anyway, so, and I could hang with him. My legs were like, he was like, oh, shit. He pulled his pants up. But then this kid, Kai Greene, I'm like, I was almost like, oh, shit, let me pull my pants. I mean, I could not believe this physique. That's why he's so great as a bodybuilder, because he built a structure naturally.
He did. I remember speaking to his friend Rodney St. Cloud.
Oh, Rodney's one of my boys. That's one of my boys.
Rodney's a great guy. I always see him at the Arnold Olympias and stuff. And he was saying, this was in Norway in 2006, 2005, 2006. He was competing at the show that Alessandro competed in, and it was 2007. And he said, Giles, he says he's not natural anymore. He says, but he's gone to 280. I said, Kai ain't 280. He said, Giles, I'm telling you, and he's agile at 280. He's completely exploded because he's built this natural base, and now he's using stuff, and it's like he's just completely exploding with growth. He was telling me he used to carry around like a wheelie case full of egg whites. He used to eat 130 egg whites a day.
He was so, even as a natural, he was so disciplined. He was very disciplined.
That's what Rodney said, yeah.
Same thing with Rodney St. Cloud.
Yeah.
Not Rodney. Rodney's my boy. Rodney has the reason why Rodney stopped competing, he's got a bad stomach. He has hiccups. Believe it or not.
It's called irretractable hiccups because he has to drink lots of water. He has to drink. I've got some funny stories about that actually.
But Shawn Rhoden is who I meant. Shawn Rhoden is another one who is natural, okay, for the longest period of time. Bob Bonham used to run the Easter Classic, and fucking Shawn Rhoden used to win that every year. I met Shawn Rhoden when he was nothing. He was just thin, but he was so built.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody realizes that. If you build a structure naturally, listen to me. Bodybuilding, it's like cooking a turkey. If you're hungry on Thanksgiving, right, and you say, oh, I'm fucking hungry, let me stick the turkey in the oven. I'm going to turn the oven up twice as hot so it cooks in twice the time. You're going to burn the outside, but it's going to be raw in the middle. Yeah. What happens is that with bodybuilding, it takes time to build a physique. Everybody wants it now. I don't want to wait. I want to take the steroids. I want it now. But it's gonna go as fast as it comes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally agree.
I mean, you see these pro bodybuilders, and no disrespect, I know he had a bad kidney, Tom Prince. But I mean, if you saw him, he's built like Lance Armstrong right now. He looks like Lance Armstrong. You're sitting there and you're going, wait a minute, this is the guy that had those legs.
The hamstrings, wasn't it?
Insane.
The calves. Yeah.
Dude, you could put stockings on those legs right now. I mean, they look like they're skinny and they're fucking. You know, I mean, put a pair of fishnets and no disrespect, but just saying, come on.
I know what you mean.
How do you lose everything, though?
Yeah.
If he, not just him, Mustafa Muhammad, even Paul Dillette. If you saw Paul Dillette walk in a grocery store, you wouldn't say, Paul Dillette once had shoulders that had to be 6 feet wide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now he's like this with a little bit of a belly. You're like, what? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in the hospital. I still got I mean, you can't see because of the weight, but I'm still, my shoulder's still broad. And I'm not even on hormone replacement right now. I can't because of the medicines I'm on for the throat. Yeah. But I go on hormone replacement. I'm on shit, and I'm still built. That's because when you build a fucking, if you build a physique naturally, and you put some years in there, you will reap the benefits of that when you're older and everything else. If you took Kai Greene on a fucking desert island, okay, with nothing but coconuts and fucking, clams to eat. He may not fucking be jacked like you, but you would still find a built man there on that island. These other guys, you'd find Pee Wee fucking Herman. You know what I mean?
I know Dorian really struggled to lose muscle when he was kind of, he really wanted to kind of downsize and everything because his injuries were sort of causing him problems, and he had to do yoga, and he said really had to cut his food back and do a lot of biking and cardio to kind of pull himself down because the calves, he said his calves were still, he hadn't trained them for like, 12, 13 years. He said they were still like 19 inches, it was just, just gonna, do you still train at Strong and Shapely Gym? Because I know Bob Bonham sold it, didn't he?
Yeah, he sold it. No, I don't. I only would train there once in a while because that's in Jersey, which is right across. In New York and New Jersey, a brother and sister.
Yeah.
I train at it. Right now, I only train at Anytime Fitness here, where I live.
What?
It's a 24-hour gym.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, at Anytime Fitness.
No, I'm sorry, what? You're training at Anytime Fitness, Gregg Valentino.
Yes.
I'm appalled, quite frankly.
You know what it is? I know you don't believe this, but I love bodybuilding and I like being around bodybuilders, but not today's bodybuilders. They're like all shy. I like to go to the gym. I wear sweatshirts. I just like to be left alone. I want to work out. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those guys. I take very little rest between sets, but I still talk and shit because I believe the gym's got to be fun. I want to look forward to going to the gym.
How many days a week do you train now then?
Well, because of the throat, I haven't trained, since March, the beginning of March, end of February, beginning of March. But when I do train, I train 5 days a week. I try to take Saturday and Sunday off.
Good.
Yeah.
Do you still eat clean?
Yes. I eat, I'm Italian, so you got to throw some of the fucking, got to throw some good fucking Italian food in it. I'm a New York guinea. We're different than other Italians. We're more Italian. We're more Italian than Italians from Italy.
Okay.
But
move your hands more.
Yeah, we it's a totally different mindset. But I do eat pretty good, man. I like to eat because it's your bodybuilder, it's what you are. It's who you are, See, that's another thing. There's guys who can't train if they're not on steroids. Dude,
I've always annoyed me, that Greg's always annoyed me. It's like, well, I'm not on gear. What's the point in training? It's really
I don't believe in that. See, it doesn't matter. The only reason why I haven't trained right now is because A, I've been in the hospital, and B, right here now the gyms are closed. Now I do a little exercise stuff here in my house, and I do have weights that I could lift, but the gym's gonna open maybe in a couple. I'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? In a couple of weeks, then I'll start training again. But I got to work my way into it. I'll train 5 days a week. I'm one of those guys though that I can't just go to the gym and I never have a day where I'm a little shot today. So I'm going to go light. I'm just going to go through them all. No, it's either I do the whole thing or I do nothing. It's all or nothing with me. I've always been that way. Yeah. So when I go to the gym, I train. If I'm supposed to do 100 sets for a body part and I do 99, I feel like I punked out. You know what I mean?
Do you? Wow, I love that. I love hearing stuff like that. Okay, Gregg, 2 final questions.
Sure.
Tell us about your book, because I remember you brought a book out and I just wanted to know how it did and, what happened with that.
My book, I guess could get shoved up my ass because I didn't make the fucking, it's a published book. So the publisher makes a lot of money and you get pennies, on that shit.
Yeah.
So as far as making Scott I didn't make a lot of money on it. It sold a ton of books.
Did it?
It's just that if I would have self-published that like all these other guys do today, I would be fucking, forget about it. But it was a top seller.
What's the title?
And the title's Death, Drugs, and Muscle. and it's, you know what's funny? I don't even have, right now, if I wanted a book, I'd have to actually go out and buy my own book.
Oh, really?
Because it's owned, when you sign a contract, it's like a record deal.
Yeah.
Remember, the fucking Beatles, I think they were getting like $100 a concert or some shit. I know Black Sabbath was getting $100 a concert because they had a bad record contract. That's why the Beatles went from RCA to Apple and created their own, because they were like, fuck this shit. The record company, when you... I don't have the greatest book deal, so
it's a published book. I mean, I know that I've heard about this. I remember Dr. John Peterson saying, he says, like, people have in the creative industries. He says if you want to be a book writer, he said you're lucky. Even if you get it published, you're lucky you're going to maybe get 5-10% of the revenue from that.
Oh yeah, you don't even I don't even get that. You know what I mean? But the good thing is it's been out there. A lot of people have read it. If you want, I could try to get one for you.
Please.
I'll get it. I'll buy one. I'll send it to you and shit.
Please. No, I'd like to do that. Yeah.
I guarantee you, if you read the book, you'd be like, holy fuck, I got to get him back on the show.
Yeah.
Because it's really, people who hate my guts have read the book. I remember they had on Get Big. They had a bunch of people who hated my guts.
Yeah.
And they chose one guy to read it, and they said, I got to tell you something. This book is probably the best book I've ever read.
Oh,
it's a really
fantastic. How long did it take you to write? How long did it take?
It took me a while to write it. It started out as an article for Steve Blackman.
Okay.
Way back. And it was about drug dealing and all that shit. And he goes to me, Gregg, he goes, I can't print this. This is insane. He goes, you know what? This is like a book. This is like a book shit. So I went and I wrote it, but Giles, I wrote it all in caps. So I had to get
like your posts on MD. In caps lock, because he writes in caps lock, you see. That's where he...
Even the articles, though. I mean, my article was one of the most read articles, for the longest time, was the most read article in...
It was part of the charm, though, because... the fact that you knew it was written by you. It wasn't ghost written by another writer. It was, you knew that was Gregg Valentino writing that.
Plus, I used to write wacky shit,
Yeah, you certainly did, mate. You certainly did.
you know. But so the book I wrote in all caps, so I had to have a guy. His name is Nathan Jendrick. It was a great guy. He's actually now he's a cop too, but he's a great writer. He's married to Megan Kwan, an ex 6-time Olympic champion.
Okay.
So that's what he does. He took the book and he put it made it legible. You know what
right.
I mean?
Okay.
So,
okay.
So it's more readable than the way I write. You know, with all the caps and the periods and all that shit. You know?
Is it going to give?
Because I type with one finger.
Do you think it'd ever be? You type with one finger.
Like Madonna. What's that?
You type with one finger.
Yes, I'm like Madonna.
I won't ask you which one.
What I mean by that is, I'm not a material girl, but no. What I mean by that is, Madonna used to say, "I'm not the greatest singer. I don't have the greatest voice, but I know how to push people's buttons and entertain and give them what they want."
Yeah.
So when I would write the column, even though it was written in all caps and it's some people complain this is hard to read, they would read it anyway because you know the shit I would say,
the message,
the way
the message comes through. Yeah.
Right. That's it. Steve Blackman used to tell me there was a girl named Carol Goldberg. That was our first, editor and everything over there.
Yeah.
And he said, "Greg, I could hear her laughing in the next room." He goes, he goes, I knew that she was doing. I go in there. What are you doing? She goes, "I'm reading Valentino's column."
Gregg's column. Yeah.
You got to read this. Ask him about that. Ask Steve Blackman when you're talking. He'll say,
I will.
"Oh, it's the truth. We used to look forward to that."
Yeah.
They would all get together and they'd sit and they'd read it and they'd be like this. And it's the content, you know.
Yeah. Do you think the book will ever be a good screenplay?
You know what's funny? I had Dito Montiel, who's a big producer, director out here, interested in it. I got a few people that are interested in it, but I can't.
Is there anyone handsome enough to play you though in the film?
Oh God, I don't know who the hell would play me. Holy shit!
Who would play you? Who would play you? I'm trying to. I don't want to. No, I'm trying to think. Who could? No, I don't want to say. Who would you like to play you in the film then?
You know, I would.
Well, you got to have a young Greg. You got to have a little young, natural, 160-pound Greg, and then you got to have the 2010 version, and then you got to have the version now. Who would it be?
Well, here's who I would have play me, and here's. See, you wouldn't need the natural Greg. You would, because it starts off with the drugs. You know what I'm saying? It's
okay. That's where it starts, right? Okay, the juicy bits. The juicy bits.
I was in with bad people, very, very, very famous. There's, I'll tell you off the air some of the people I was in, because there's people I don't want to get killed, but I was in with very bad people, and I was, this is when the steroided me. I'll tell you who I would have play me, even though he doesn't have the giant arms issue, but you could still get the whole idea.
CGI.
Believe it or not, because he's a great actor, Rob Yules.
Rob Yules, who's that? Do I know? No, I don't know him.
You don't know Rob Yules? I thought you would know him. He's a pro bodybuilder from America.
Rob Yules. I don't know him. I can't think who he is. I can't think. The name doesn't ring a bell, mate.
Yeah, I believe for a small period of time he might have been with us. And MD, I don't remember. Yeah. Rob Yules. He actually does acting and stuff. And he's really good.
It's not the guy who played Kingpin in. What about the guy who played Kingpin in Daredevil? He's a bit taller than you, though.
Who's that?
The guy who played Kingpin in Daredevil, the TV series.
I didn't see it. Everybody's taller than me. And I'm only 5'6",
5'6".
So I'm not really that tall.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Rob Yules is really good. I'm shocked you don't know him, because
I'll look it up.
You would know who he is if you saw his pictures. And you go, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he is a New York guy, but he does. I was in a movie with him. A short movie, and it was by a guy from HBO that did it, and holy Christ, I'm so hyper. Sometimes my brain, I can't. What the fuck is the name of the movie?
He can't remember the name of the film he was in.
Oh my God, what the hell's the name of that movie?
What was his name?
I can't. Wait a minute. What was the name of the movie? Oh my God.
Okay. Well, we'll have to do a reboot. You'll have to do a reboot. Make another one.
Go on IMDb. Whoever's watching this, I don't know. Go on IMDb. I don't even remember half the shows I've been on.
Yeah, really?
ESPN and all those shows.
Yeah, because you're on a lot of TV shows. You're on. You've been on talk shows and everything, haven't you?
I was supposed to be on that Value Entertainment. Well, what the hell's his name? Patrick Bet-David.
Patrick Bet-David.
But that's when the throat hit. He wanted me on in February, then he asked me March. I put it off. So I'm gonna, he wants to do this big thing with me. So
that will be good.
I'll do it when I'm done.
That will be good. That'll be good. Patrick Bet David would do a good interview with you. Yeah. Okay. Final question: are we going to see you at the Olympia this year in December in Las Vegas? Come on, mate. We've got to go party it out afterwards.
I would love, I would love to go. But as of right now, I don't know, because there's schedule and I don't even know if there's going to be is it going to be a Mr. Olympia?
They've moved it to December 16th and 20th. It's at Planet Hollywood and the Zappos Theater at the end of December 16th to 20th. They've moved it back.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Come on, you got to come. This is big news, mate. It's big news. You got to come.
This is like really smart. I'll tell you why. Think about this.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger must have sat back one day and smoked some fucking pot and said to his friends, check this out. I'm going to run a show, and I'm going to run it in the dead of winter. I'm going to put it at the end of February, beginning of March.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stick it in Ohio. Fucking Ohio.
Yeah.
And guess what? Everybody's going to come from all over the world to see it. You would say, get the fuck out of here. Why do you fly? Whoa. Why would the Olympia be in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
In September when it's still warm out, you fly out to Vegas where it's even warmer, right? Why not put the Vegas show in the winter? So you go from cold weather to nice warm weather, right? You put, right? Or why would you want to fly out to Ohio when it's always fucking snowy and shitty out there?
I know.
In fucking March, that shit should be in June or somewhere else.
No offense, but Columbus is not my favorite place to go to, and it's not. I don't think it's somewhere I would go on holiday.
Right? No, it sucks. I mean, wait, guys, listen. For you Ohio guys, I'm not dissing Ohio. What I'm saying, bro, is
we are a little bit.
York,
we are a little
it's
bit.
The same thing. Who the fuck would want to come to New York in fucking the end of February, beginning of March? It's fucking cold and it snows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather go to Vegas then. You go from cold weather, you're freezing your ass off. You say, "Oh God, I can't wait for the show." You go to Vegas. It's nice and warm.
Yeah.
You should swap the Olympia date with the fucking Arnold date.
Well, Greg, that'll be one thing to scrub off my bucket list. Go to Vegas with Gregg Valentino.
Yeah, dude, we'd have a good time out there. You never know. I didn't know it was going to be in December. You never know.
It was announced last week. It was announced last week because I think everyone knew it was kind of coming because obviously the shows are all being cancelled or put back, and I think with all the shows yet to qualify, I think they knew it was going to be November, December. Then it was announced officially last week. So, Greg, this has been amazing, mate. And I can only apologise that I didn't get you on sooner, mate, because this is I interviewed you at the Arnold 2 years ago, and it was fantastic. It was such a fun interview, mate. It's been a real pleasure to catch up with you, mate.
Thank you, Giles. It's always great. I got so much love and respect for you. I mean, I don't even whatever we had back in fucking the early 2000s on the internet, going back because we didn't know each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I love you, man. Dude, we'll do more if you want. You could ask me the most fucked up shit. And I'll tell it to you. I don't give never hold back with me. I don't give a shit. You could ask me whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm good with that. You want to know about drugs, steroids? You want to ask me what I took, how I did it, about the big arm shit, whatever you want to know. I don't give a shit. We'll do it.
I think I'll take you up on that, mate. I really appreciate that. Gregg Valentino, it's been fantastic, mate, and I can't wait to get you on soon, and I really hope you come to Vegas, mate.
Thank you. I hope to see you out there too. And Steve Blackman, I love you, bro. You'll always have my respect. I love everybody at MD. MD was, that was my home for so long, and Steve Blackman gave me that opportunity when nobody else did. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't. I would just be this guy who was on a TLC show or some bullshit like that. But Steve Blackman made me who I am. To be honest with you, that's the way I feel anyway.
Yeah. All right then, Greg. Well, I'll speak to you. I'll speak to you very soon, then, mate.
All right.
Thank you.
What's the producer guy's name?
Kaleem.
Colin?
Kaleem.
Kaleem. Thank you, my brother. Have fun. And don't get bored by these other bodybuilders, bro. You need some. These fucking bodybuilders. You can't ask them shit. You know what I mean? Certain things you can talk to them about.
Yeah.
No, don't ask me about that. Don't let me do this.
All right then, Greg.
All right, guys. I'll shut up.
Cheers, buddy. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.